Hello, my internet fans. It's me, Statboy Mike, and I would like to welcome you to this week's installment of Throwback Thursday. The Casa D18 Studios Channel continues to sort through the archives of the Jeff Meacham Network, the Simple Man brand, JH95 FTW, NoDQ.com, and the Casa Channel in order to bring you classic content that you may not have seen in a long time, if ever. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's Throwback Thursdays offering. I love you all. Statboy out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Jeff Meacham Network. The Jeff Meacham Network's Multiverse of Media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
JJ, Jeff, you want to kick this thing off? Because I'm still trying to process everything here.
Yeah, it's like,
who wants to go first?
Yeah, who wants to go first?
well,
Come on in. It's open mic night with your host.
you could maybe say there's really 4 topics, but it's split into 6.
The Renegade, J.J. Williams.
The Sammy and Eddie Kingston thing, which one's the better smelling turd?
And his panel of co-hosts.
I am the founder. Well, call me that for today since we're going with the Jeff Jarrett love theme here this week, according to JJ.
The West Coast Professor, Jeff Meacham.
Karma is karma.
That's professional wrestling! Damn it!
The Simple Man, Noah Foster.
It's showtime! Yeah! How you doing, JJ? How you doing, Jeff?
James.
Yeah. And the He-Man, James Hebert.
Imagine Bill Burr, Joe Rogan, Paul White, the Baldies! There you go! It sells itself! Get in there!
Short his ass and shit the bed.
He's not Amber Heard.
Give it time, JJ, give it time.
No, I'm sure Jeff has some stuff that...
Dumb move. Just don't pull this bullshit again. You get one.
Tony needs to stop caring about the ratings.
Bradshaw said as long as the ads are in place, we're not going to lose that third hour.
Ring of Honor does not have to be AEW Live. They don't necessarily have to coexist with each other. We kind of saw that tonight to a degree.
Along with a panel of guests.
He's no longer glorious. Don't you bring that up. You want me to rant about what my NXT used to... No, we are done here for the night. I swear, James.
Because you never know who may show up for open mic night.
I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives.
The first thing that came to my mind was, it's about damn time.
Amen!
I literally touched everybody in the state's trash. So it's horrible, you guys.
Peyton's new thing is Dennis the Menace, but it's funny because she calls it Dentist the Medicine.
That's great.
When Elliot Taylor came out and did Born for Greatness live, I was popping my pussy, having a great time. I didn't care. I was having so much fun.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fuck Bill Belichick.
Football thing. We end it on wrestling, and then you bring in that shit. That's just how the thing goes off the damn rails. Brilliant, bloody brilliant.
Damn it. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, as we bring to you our weekly shenanigans that are open mic night. Let me go ahead and bring in the rest of the panel. First, I'm going to bring in the Heeb Man, James Hebert, who just did a phenomenal job as the color commentator for the event.
Yeah. It was
hell of a show. Hell of a show that you commentated there, James.
Well, it was a hell of a show. There was some good bits, some bad bits, and then bits that left me meh, which kind of expected with the NWA, especially towards the main event, to be honest. So
it's fair. It's fair. And then, of course, joining us this evening, as always, the simple man with the spectacular voice, our lead commentator, Noah Foster. Once again, happy birthday, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy belated, man. Hope it was a good one. What'd you do? What'd you do for your birthday?
It was nice and simple. I got some Annie Anna pretzels. I got $75. I got the Five Guys then, and then I just basically played a game for 8 hours and went to bed. It was nice and simple. And I took the day off work too, so that was a nice bonus.
That was good.
There you go. Yeah. It's always good to get that time away from work. You know, free your mind and the rest will follow, as En Vogue used to say.
Yeah, free your mind. Free your mind. Yeah.
So, gentlemen, after having called the NWA pay-per-view, what are your final, to take a cue from our play-by-play commentator, what are your final simple thoughts on the show?
Want to go first, James? This is what's your first?
I'll go last.
Fair enough. Overall, I thought that, again, for how many matches there were, and it did end right before 11 p.m. Standard Time, it was a good pace of the show. There was definitely a couple of spots that I was really surprised by. I'm extremely happy that Ohio Present Renegade Twins are once again making history, now particularly in their third set of Tag Team Championships in their tag team wrestling career. Now the NWA Women's Tag Team Champions, but kudos to Kenzie Page on her first actual run with NWA Gold. I'm sure it won't be her last, but again, cohesion overcame combustible dysfunction. So there you go. Definitely surprised me was the pre-show, though, how long Miss Kate hung with La Rosa Negra and what Odinson brought forward with Joe Lonzo. But I think overall, my biggest thing is, good Lord, did Kratos take a ridiculous fracking bump? And despite getting stitches, I just hope that the man is cognitive enough to be okay going forward, because I know the man has no slowdown. Again, the one constant that matters the most to me in the NWA, Camille, damn it, is still Burke. Burke still breakout, still NWA World Women's Champion. There isn't a woman right now in this industry, freelance-wise, I can see taking this title off her. Great stuff again. Took her out of her element, out of her comfort zone. Showed us a different side of her. Who knows you could do it coast to coast. And still very young in her career, despite her incredible run. And overall, I thought the show just had good pace. And Tyrus is NWA World Champ. Enough said. Good show.
Yeah, if they weren't retired, I'd like to see Camille go against either Gail Kim or Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong would be freaking epic. But yeah.
I think those would be two awesome tests for her.
Yeah, you need somebody that can not only contend with her on a strength game, but could take her out mentally to the point she can't recover. Angela Love exploited the mentality. At the end of the day, it was still the physical prowess of Camille that allowed her to survive, even after a Botox injection with a trash can laid to the face.
By the way, it was Love Rebellion, JJ, that retained the tag titles, not the other way around.
Well, we're learning. Again, Aaron Stevens, what the hell were you thinking?
Yeah, I don't know. He was an idiot. Okay, so my honest thoughts are, I think there was bright spots in the show. I think Kerry Morton was absolutely a bright spot. His opponent was not so much, but I worked it into a pretty decent call, I think. So there you go.
Yeah, Laura Billion defeated Blood Force Trauma to retain the titles. I had that.
Oh, sorry. I'm a little tired. I'll be honest. But yeah, show was kind of that for me. It had its bright spots with like Kerry Morton. I think the pre-show, I think the biggest highlight for me was that Greek dude. I already forget his name.
Odinson.
He's really good. Like, I want to see more of Odinson. Like,
yeah, the James. I'm just gonna say this right now. Try and really wake you up. You want to see more of Natalia Volkova, don't you?
Oh yes.
There we go.
Yeah, Natalia Volkova.
You're welcome.
100%. And also the other girl too that came out, the one with the legs for days. Both of them more on my
CJ.
screen, please.
Christy James, yes, aka CJ.
Yeah, CJ. Yeah, more CJ, more Natalia. Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And then I really like the women's match. I think the best on the main card. I think out of all the matches I was most impressed with, I think it was probably the Odinson match.
Yeah.
Everything else was pretty okay.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty standard. Happy the Renegade Twins won their sets of tag team titles.
Yeah.
Hopefully they actually show up with them on AEW at some point. We'll see what happens. Forbidden Door is around the corner, so if they do another one, that's a thing.
Yeah. With Kenzie Page's and Ella Envy's attitudes, they're gonna come in like Hellcats after those titles.
Yeah. The national title was surprisingly good, although I feel like there was something missing of it. I just don't know what it really could be. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it as I see it, man. Tyrus ain't the one. Tyrus ain't it. I'm sorry. The dude can barely freaking move. He can barely move. Like and the way I could tell he can't really move. Like, he wasn't really a mover to begin with, even during his time in WWE, but he was a little bit more mobile than he currently is now. There you go. Wait, what was he under in WWE? I don't know. That's a good question. I said
he was younger.
He was
Like
younger, yeah.
He's had a few extra years added to his body, whether it's been in bump taking or trying to carry that weight or just aging in general.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been other big man champions that just couldn't move. You think about guys like the Great Khali.
Yeah, or Andre the Giant as well towards the end of his run, yeah.
Yeah, Yokozuna.
Yeah.
I'm about to say Bonsai.
I mean, I think Tyrus still gets around a lot better than any of them. And the whole 10 million thing, it's like, you figure with his outside work, he's bringing additional eyes to the 10 pounds of gold. He's bringing additional eyes to Sweet Charlotte, and that's something that's very imperative right now as Billy Corgan's NWA continues to try to grow.
Yeah. Here's my question, though. How many of these political nutheads, right, that watch Fox News are realistically gonna pay money to see the NWA? My guess is not a lot.
You never know.
Not a lot. I guarantee you there's not going to be many people that buy this pay-per-view just because Tyrus was the champion. Like, we got to remember this too. Tyrus was the national champion at one point, and he was showing his belt off proudly after the Punk debut. Like, they aired stuff on Fox News with the Punk debut, and he was holding his championship proud because it was like the best return in years, right? So he was proud and held it proud because he was standing up for pro wrestling because it's exciting again. That was the whole thing, which made me like Tyrus as a person, by the way, first and foremost. There's nothing against Tyrus as a person. I don't give a fuck about his political beliefs, because I think anybody that believes in talking about politics and judging the person solely based off their politics is a crock of shit. We'll just put it that way. But as a person, I like him. It's just, we got to look at the facts. When he was the national champion and he was showing off the NWA National Championship and he was promoting the NWA with that belt, how many people realistically bought the Fight Pass? Barely anybody did. I highly doubt that because now he's the top dog holding the top prize, he's going to bring a lot of eyes. And it really just comes down to, like, the dude is, yeah, I mean, he could move a lot better than a lot of the guys we mentioned prior, but, bro, his knees are shot, and you can tell he can barely do any of the moves he used to do. And when you got guys like Tim Storm, who were, like, the oldest they were, the champion was 54, and he was a freaking hoss, dude. Like, that dude moved around better than any 54-year-old I've ever seen. Like, if anything, Tyrus should be the one who's retired, and Tim Storm should be the one going for the gold. Seriously.
Fair take.
It's not... It doesn't help. Like, I don't know. Tyrus ain't the one, man. I want... And that's... I like Tyrus. Like, I like him as a person. It's just, he ain't it, dude. He ain't it. He's lacking. He's definitely lacking in the charisma. Kind of always has, to be honest with you. He hasn't really had the greatest charisma personality. He can't really move as good as he used to do. When he could move a little bit in the WWE, he could barely freaking move. He didn't have a wide a range of moves. Matt Cardona had to work his ass off to get something out of him. And, like, they had to book a schmoz finish around him just to hide his, weaknesses. Like, is that going to be every Tyrus match? Because if so, I venture to think it's barely going to get out of first gear. And this is your top guy. Like, even take the Brodus Clay stuff out of it, because I try to, and I have, because his promo skills have been getting a little bit better as time goes on. But even take all that out of it, you're not getting much in the ring. And when you only have, like he says that, he's gonna 10 million people watch pro wrestlers do what they do best, and that's talk. Okay, but talking only goes so far. How are you gonna perform in the ring?
That's true.
You know, I hate that logic. Oh, pro wrestling, we do what we do best, and that's talk. Okay, yeah, but you have to back up what you do in the ring as well. You know, not for nothing, but like Stone Cold didn't just, he may have talked a big game, but he also backed it up in the ring in his own way, even after the freaking neck injury. So, like, and then you look at The Rock, you know, he talked the talk. He was one of the greatest talkers of all time. Had a freaking hour-long Iron Man match with Triple H that's still talked about to this day. You know, stuff like that. I don't like that whole thing where talking is what we do best. Yeah, but if your in-ring work is not on par with where it should be to be the top guy of the company, how valuable is your talking, in all honesty?
True.
Like that's where the NWA is at right now. And again, I reiterate, I think a lot of people understood this, and the go home show had no life to it at all. I think everybody knew this. Nobody's putting their best foot forward in the NWA anymore, because realistically, a lot of the people that we saw on this show are probably getting paid better in other companies.
Freelancing.
And I would, you know, and they're probably making a better money outside of the NWA than they are within it. That's just the stone cold fact of the matter. I mean, we saw some decent stuff on the show, but you know, I think JJ said it best. It's the D show. And it's only going to get worse if you keep this guy as your champion. And that's coming from a guy that personally likes Tyrus. Like, I actually like the dude as a person. But this ain't it, dude. You got to get that belt on Chris Adonis and pronto. Because, like, anybody is better than Tyrus as far as you need a good top guy material here. And Tyrus just isn't it. You know, I feel kind of harsh saying it that way, but, like, I don't know how else you really want me to say it. The NWA has got a lot of problems right now. And, you know, a lot of it has to do with how Billy Corgan has let his relationship deteriorate with the Aldis family. And just how he, for the longest time, he just let Aldis keep that belt too long, and for whatever reason, refuses to open the forbidden door. When in reality, if he did, it probably would help his company a large margin here. Because it did. When Thunder Rosa held the belt, it was actually helping their viewership. When Camille made that one-off appearance, it boosted their pay-per-views. When Billy Corgan didn't want that presence anymore, it tanked again.
That's a fair assessment.
That's the fact here. And, you know, at the end of it, don't expect me to be watching any more NWA. Because, you know, there's a lot of things that were off about this show. By the way, all joking aside with the Kevin Kiley stuff as well, what the hell were they thinking with this? Seriously, I would have rathered Aries. I actually may have rathered, like, some other cancelable guy or something that got fucked by the industry. I actually would have rather see that, because at least we know we would get a really good match out of it. Riley was clearly not in ring shape. He almost necked himself on the suicide dive.
Yep.
That dude. Like, it was almost like they wanted an impromptu match, and EC3 called Kevin at like the last minute to come in, and he wasn't prepared.
Right.
And you could tell he was blown up like halfway through. He could barely pull off a freaking spine buster, which was actually kind of concerning. You know, and he was like a master of that move, and he barely was able to do it. And then he goes for his suicide dive and doesn't even get enough clearance over the top rope and just crashes to the ground. And I don't know if it was like they tried to make it like a planned spot where, you know, because I feel like Ethan Carter like works it into the story of the match, and then, you know, builds that story or whatever. But I'm like, dude, you know, CYN's joined this shit now, and that is already a mess as it is.
Yes.
So you got the D company, you know, collabing with the F company. Oh, that's the forbidden door everybody's clamoring to see. Like, fuck off. Like, seriously,
the
come on.
The one person with CYN that had any buzz, any interest about him is back in WWE.
Yep. And is already doing far better for himself, teaming with Ricochet of all people. So, you know,
it's weird. It's just
even
weird.
though they didn't put the straps on them last night.
Let's be honest. The Usos aren't losing a single set of straps unless they're losing both those sets of straps at the same time.
Bro, JJ, if you were to see,
I thought the whole intent was to split those straps up. Like, I figured whoever won the tournament would win the gold, and it should have been Imperium, but that's another story altogether.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, but the bottom line is this: as long as the Bloodline chooses to have the titles presented as a unified front, they aren't going to let them lose them unless they're lost as a unified front.
Last thing I'll say too on this Kevin Kiley, JJ, you gotta see how Riley looks like now. It's bad. He looks like a local jobber, dude. Like, he didn't even look like a Rai. He didn't even look like he didn't look like a wrestler. He looked like a scrub trying to be a wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason why I didn't talk about that at all. I only talked about what I cared about. Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Renegade Twins. Continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I get the opportunity, I'll go back in. I mean, it was ordered, it was paid for, so I can watch it back on a replay. But, you know, it definitely, it sounded like a decent show. As pointed out, as far as what I saw in the pre-show, I was thoroughly impressed with the Odinson match.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And I was impressed with the Mercurio, Natalia, Max the Impaler genocide match. You know, both of those were really good.
Oh, La Rosa Negra too. I feel like
that was good.
Hung with La Rosa Negra. I was surprised, man. That was good stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of good action that I was able to see, and you know, just kind of looking forward to going back and seeing the rest of it as soon as I can.
There you go. Overall, NWA, it was okay. Enough said.
Yeah. I think somebody jokes there. It's funny.
To the people in the chat room that are joining us, Sean, Jason, Hassan, Safet, welcome. Thank you for joining us here this evening.
BJ, y'all.
So now that we've gotten through a little bit of the NWA talk, you know, coming out of the pay-per-view, first thing we're going to discuss is some WWE stuff.
All right.
And it was reported that Triple H has reportedly given up on Baron Corbin.
What?
The reason behind this, let me take the ticker down.
All right.
It says, we've learned that the ringside roster, which is where I got this from, via F4W Online, so take it for what it's worth.
Beat your salt.
That Triple H reportedly has given up on the Baron Corbin and JBL pairing after feeling that it was going nowhere, and he has essentially given up on Corbin in general. It was noted that until he can prove otherwise, WWE officials no longer believe that Corbin has top star potential after so many failed gimmicks, and they realize that he hasn't made any real progress after having every chance to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my thing with this, right? And granted, I'm probably the worst person to speak on this because Corbin's rise was when I wasn't watching.
Yeah.
Ever since I started watching, he's been this stupid happy Corbin shit. Like I didn't even see him before that.
Oh,
When he started doing the homeless Corbin. All I've really seen is happy Corbin. But from the stuff that I have seen doing my homework to do shows with Jeff, Keen Corbin was solid.
Yeah.
That King of the Ring tournament that he won, to take a phrase from Sheamus, was banger after banger after banger.
Surprising too.
From everything I've heard, the Lone Wolf was the shit.
That's where he was his apex in my black and gold NXT. Damn it.
I think if they let him go back to that, it would be a complete 180. However, I know a lot of what made the Lone Wolf was the look, the hair. Dude's bald right now, so it would take a while for him to get that hair back.
Yeah, that, and the problem is he can't get the hair back because while he had the long hair towards the tail end of it, the reason he was shaving is because he was going bald anyway. So he just looked like metal heart. He looked like metalingus freaking Hulk Hogan,
Damn. So it would be cool to kind of see him go back to that, even if he modified the look to do it bald.
Right.
Throw a bandana around his head instead or something,
Yeah.
But there's got to be something they can do to get him back over with the crowd, and I'm not really sure what it is. Daniel says, could Baron Corbin end up being released soon? The way things are going, the Magic 8 Ball would say all signs point to yes.
Yep.
Safet says that Happy Corbin sucked, which I wouldn't go that far. When the shtick started with Madcap Moss, it was all right.
And then it started sucking.
But once the rift came between him and Madcap,
it was over.
That's when the gimmick died.
And
because Madcap was way more over.
Yeah. Here's some retrospective for you. Baron Corbin's failing. Madcap Moss, spoiler alert, is the new #1 contender to challenge Walter for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah,
which I'm not shocked.
Blew me the fuck away.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm not
sure
shocked
how you're. Why are you not shocked? Because with everybody else that was in that match, he was the last person I would have bet on.
I bet that he was going to get the fall.
For me, I think that there's a couple reasons why I'm not shocked by it. Number one, if they're not going to do Lesnar and Walter, which from the looks of things, they're going to be doing Lesnar and Lashley at Mania, which is not bad, to be honest.
No, they're going to be doing that at the Chamber.
Are they really?
It's supposed to be this week.
Yeah, literally.
Okay.
After Brock Lesnar, F5 Bobby Lashley, not once, but twice. Last week on Monday Night Raw, I may not watch the show, but I actually watch highlight, folks. 3 hours, I'm just saying. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to try and finally sell this thing at Elimination Chamber. So if the thing is sell Elimination Chamber, not to go on a sub-tangent for too long, you very well still could get that match where Walter has said Brock Lesnar might as well be his final boss in WWE, which is accurate. Anyway, back to our
we'll see what happens. But if they go with Walter versus Sheamus and McIntyre, I assume either one. I assume they want to save that until Mania.
Yeah.
Until Mania. Right now, there's a lot of eyes on Elimination Chamber. Just the fact that Sammy and Roman are the main event. So I think the idea is let Madcap show what he could do against a guy like Walter, and have a star-making performance with this rookie in Madcap. I think that's what they're trying to do here. And if anybody can get a 5-star classic out of somebody, Walter's the guy to do it. I mean, that's just the bottom line.
And I totally co-sign with you on that. But why are they giving the match away for free on SmackDown instead of putting it at the Chamber?
Okay, wait. Hold on. The Intercontinental Championship match is not the Chamber. It's on SmackDown?
Yep.
Damn it! I wanted to call that! Because it's Walter!
So did I.
Damn it! Come on. Yeah, by the way, folks, this is me and JJ's first both respectively ever Elimination Chamber call, so stay tuned for that. Because last year was in country.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue. Really? A blah.
They said it.
Sorry.
Yeah, they said it. They said it while they were hyping the card that the match would be on SmackDown next week. I completely agree.
All right, well let's go back to normal here because here's the thing. Hi, Jeff. To try and redefine, if you will, Baron Corbin. Is a match with the right opponent the way to go at this point, or is it damaged goods? I mean, yeah, he's kind of been, booked into oblivion under the stupidest of gimmicks per se. And it was more so just a basic contentment.
I completely agree.
It's sad, really, because I do think, again, start up Black Gold NXT, he had so much potential. He seemed to have the look. He seemed to be the guy with the strong work ethic. I mean, James, you said countless times that his freaking Deep Six might as well be his finisher. It's not a signature. And even then, at the end of the day, that's a ridiculous move set up in itself. Baron Corbin's very well founded in the ring, but it's the presentation that's killed him.
Yeah, if he were to go back to the Lone Wolf now, so much damage has been done. It's over, and it's just too much time has passed, and too many bad gimmicks have gone through the horseshit creative that was Vince McMahon. The damage is done. Like Triple H, Triple H right now, what he was doing, and this is how you're supposed to do it, by the way. Because you don't want to Russo it, as we have clearly seen. Russoing did not work in WCW. Need we forget?
Yeah, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole again. Tell you that much.
At least creatively, not that it would have mattered, but
not 2023.
Fucking man, you look at Corbin and what he was booked as. He was booked to oblivion. It was over. It's been over. After. The minute they blamed him for Ross sucking in 2018 to try to pass it off like it was all Corbin's fault,
scapegoat.
He was dead. He was dead on arrival from there. He never recovered. Yep. When he was Constable Corbin, which is the start of the whole change of metamorphosis of all these stupid ass gimmicks,
and then became general manager for a short term.
Yeah, manager Corbin. And all this other crap. Yeah, it was bad. He never recovered. Now, granted, also, I don't think guys like Uncle Dave helped, because oh boy, did Dave and Alvarez not like him at all. In fact, they went so far as to absolutely bury him on podcasts, which looking back at, I completely disagree with how they treat certain people, especially to Corbin, just because he couldn't do a 5-star match at the Tokyo Dome, brother. Yeah, fuck off.
Right? Look, we already talked about journalistic integrity for the last 52
exactly.
Or so.
I'm just pointing out the obvious that it didn't really help him.
No, I agree. Because if it's not the direct presentation, it's an indirect perspective or perception that literally could break or make anybody in this industry, especially in the WWE.
I don't think it necessarily broke Corbin. I think it was just a combination of Meltzer not liking him and Alvarez not liking him. So automatically the Workhorse fanatics diss him and completely dismiss him. And then the horseshit creative that Vince was creating for Baron Corbin. Those two things, it was done then. Like he could have gone back to the Lone Wolf after the King Corbin gimmick. It wouldn't have fucking meant anything. He was dead. Like, they tried to pair him with JBL to try to get some heat on him and actually get him into the top position that he used to be in. Didn't do shit. He's done.
I mean,
and and the worst part is, it's not even his fault. I mean,
no.
Need we forget that this motherfucker at one point had to explain away his boss hitting him. Vince McMahon hitting him. He had to just explain it away like it was nothing.
Yeah.
This is who he was dealing with. Like, what else could he do? You know? Especially if you're an independent contractor, which is a crock of shit, and we've already gone on record multiple times on various different podcasts about how it's questionable.
Yeah.
But what is he supposed to do? He was screwed. We knew he was screwed. It was only a matter of time. So they're going to get rid of him now because, you know, Triple H, I think, legitimately likes Corbin. I think a lot of people in the back really do like Corbin and wanted him to work somehow.
Corey Graves.
Especially Corey. Yeah. Him and Corbin, I think, are like best friends as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only so much you could do. I mean, honest to God, the only thing that I could think of, Corey's cleared. Seriously, get him off the fucking booth and put him with Corey pronto and make them a tag team. That's like the only way I could see that ever being salvaged. Having those two teams. That would be like the only way I could salvage Corbin. Genuinely. Like, because then at least you could have him like team with somebody and get up to the upper echelon somehow. Maybe to the mid card again. And do stuff like that. Because unless he could do that, like, dude, the roster's bloated right now.
There's enough guys already in catering.
Like, there's so many people in catering right now that they're itching for an opportunity at the single star. But there's not many tag teams going for the tag titles right now. So that's like the only way I could see Corbin being utilized and kept around is if he teams up with Corey and they take him out of the booth. That's like it. Otherwise, I don't know what you do with the guy.
That's
He's
fair.
kind of fucked.
Yeah, he can't do a single thing.
It sucks. It wasn't his fault that all the stuff happened to him happened. It wasn't his fault that Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez don't know, you know, a wrist lock from a wrist watch anymore. It doesn't really help that, you know, Vince McMahon had crappy ass creative. It sucks that this is where it's at for Corbin. I actually feel bad for the guy because he's gotten shit on for so long, and now because it's gotten so bad, he's about to get fired from his job. And I don't think that's cool. I really don't think that was cool from the off.
I agree. So that's Nick Khan, though, but that's a story for a different day.
Yeah. No, I actually don't blame Nick Khan or anybody. I blame Vince. It's not their fault.
Right, but because damage done, and Nick Khan's the business guy, I guarantee you he's going to be one of the first names you see in budget cuts.
No, I'm sure. But it is what it is, bro. Like,
what was that?
I can't even blame Nick Khan for it. Like, if he fires him, I get it. It just sucks because it wasn't Corbin's fault.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely. Mikey T, welcome to the show.
What is good?
Good to have you joining us. Do you got anything that you would like to add regarding Triple H and company losing faith in Baron Corbin?
Well, first of all, I appreciate being on the show tonight, open mic night. Happy belated birthday, Noah.
Thank you.
Respect my bro James, and of course the captain of the ship, JJ. Yeah, Baron Corbin, man, I'll tell you, I have not liked this guy since the beginning of his run. Like, literally since he was in NXT. Noah, you probably remember this. They kind of gave him the same treatment as Apollo Crews, the way they rushed him up through the system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't get a chance to be the NXT champion or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that really hindered him at the beginning. The same with Apollo Crews. So he came in And then he had that epically horrible bald spot. You know what I mean? He had the John Moxley, Dean Ambrose bald spot that was just killing him from the whole beginning. I'm like, are you serious? There can be nothing redeemable about this guy. He's going bald.
That was the least of our problems, as we would find out, Mike.
Let's put this appropriately. He was thinning, but I do agree because you think about his first main roster debut, he won the Andre Diamond Royal Battle Royal at WrestleMania 32, and then he had a short-term partner with the workhorse of WWE to help people move forward and go over. Dolph Ziggler.
By the way, real quick though, and here's a question for you, Mikey. Right, with Corbin. Do you believe that if he did and was allowed fine-tuning, right, would he have worked? Because I think the Lone Wolf, you mentioned, Noah mentioned Apollo Crews. I remember there was one match, I think it was TakeOver London, and it was Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin, and Baron Corbin was talking smack. I remember him saying, you should have stayed in Ring of Honor, talking shit to him, like, really, like it felt like genuine from the pits, and it sounded good. And I remember, like, okay, this guy's starting to get something here, you know.
Yep.
If he stayed in NXT, do you think he could have been something?
I'm trying to think if Baron Corbin could have if he ever had that one opportunity where he could have been something, and it takes me back to the original, to the roster split. And I remember that main event. I think it was AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler in a triple threat main event on a SmackDown special. And a lot of people
2016. You're right.
And a lot of people were really into that. You know what I mean? And, you know, the only thing I think Baron Corbin really had going for him was his size, was his entrance music.
Yes.
And somewhat his attire. I mean, although I've never really fully been into his attire so much, he seemed like at first he would just have the regular tights, pants, but then he always went for the shirt. I know recently when he came back with JBL, he had that horrendous, disgusting, it kind of looked like just like skin-colored tights. You know what I mean? They were like,
yeah, I saw pictures of that.
And I think he actually ditched those in the last few weeks and just went back to his regular T-shirt. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But JBL bringing back Baron Corbin, I just feel like that was just something that wasn't going to last long, and it lasted even shorter than I think they intended. I think they wanted to get at least 3, maybe to SummerSlam out of this to actually put a baby face over. But Baron Corbin runs through so many gimmicks, you guys. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to lose his job. I think he will be there putting people over at least until 2030, or no, what are we at? At least until 2025, he'll be putting people over.
Utility, basically. Utility worker.
Yeah,
Brooklyn Brawler.
Well,
trot him out once in a while to
on main
his
event.
job to somebody.
On main event.
Nobody liked his gimmick in 2018 of Corporate Kane 2.0. That didn't get over. Who would have fucking thunk it?
I wasn't watching, but I think the only time I really saw something special on him was right after the King of the Ring win.
Yeah.
Like, I think they should have done something right then because they had all the momentum.
And then they moved it on to Shinsuke Nakamura due to a Rick Boogs sub-tangent spot.
Bro, if anything, too, like, and this to this day makes no sense to me. They gave the win to Corbin for heat's sake. They had all this heat. Never once capitalized on it. They didn't even have him revert back to the Lone Wolf gimmick. They just had him completely adopt the King. How many people did that work over the years, by the way? Every person that adopted the King persona after they won King of the Ring, with the exception of King Booker, none of them worked.
Maybe Owen Hart, too.
Fair enough, Owen. But
he was talking about the last relevant one, though.
I mean, like, real King, too. Like, Owen Hart kind of adopted it somewhat.
Yes.
Regal, I put an asterisk to, but that's not, well, it is his fault, but not because of bad creative.
Yeah, it was the wellness policy. He got busted for drugs.
Bro, every person that was adopted with the fucking King gimmick failed a died a death, bro. King
Xavier.
Sheamus, King Barrett, freaking King
Woods.
Corbin,
King Woods.
He got
King
injured.
Woods.
The last king, actually.
Yeah.
Which really sucked because, you know, he got his dream come true. He couldn't even live it out on television for 3-4 months.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. In fact,
the only other kings that I can think of that really succeeded were before the pay-per-view. You think about like King Harley Race, the Macho King.
Macho King, yes.
Macho King ruled, yes.
But once it became a pay-per-view, like you said, like Owen Hart, and then freaking
King Mabel.
Nah.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
He had his, bro, he had his best gimmicks. He had his best gimmicks after the King of the Ring win, and they still weren't great because one, he was a trash bag. Another one, he was anal destruction, and the third, he was I have 2 pairs of tits on my body.
You're talking about Big
Daddy V, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of funny you bring that up, James, because look who's had just as many gimmicks as Viscera, Big Daddy V. Baron Corbin has had just as many gimmicks as Mabel.
That's actually fair. Yeah.
I never thought about that.
He actually might have more than Big Daddy V, to be fair.
Let's see here. Lone Wolf still was Lone Wolf when he started the roster. Then he became general manager assistant. Constable.
He became constable, and then he became general manager, and then he became
king.
And then he became
happy, sad.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you're right. Good grief.
And then it became I'm Baron Corbin again with JBL. So 7, 8 gimmicks. Yeah. And I wonder why he died a death. Like
he had more than Charles Wright. Jesus.
Bro, like at least in NXT, in Black and Gold NXT, he was used properly. Like, okay, yeah, he couldn't really work great like everybody else, but give him the time and he could have.
I mean, the program with Rhino was a little okay that helped push some of his momentum forward because remember, as a Lone Wolf, he was kind of the undefeated voiceless force for a period of time in that Black and Gold NXT. It was when they started using him more for vocabulary in the wrong circumstances against the wrong type of people and the wrong reasons, when it was like GM disputes and fighting the likes of Austin Aries and Samoa Joe, that I was like,
that was it. Yeah,
there it is. Wasn't his first feud with Austin Aries and then he didn't even actually get the victory?
No, he didn't, but he was beating the shit out of him. Yeah. He lost. That was his final takeover match too.
It was his final takeover.
Oh, that was his final one, not his first.
No, the first one was inside just the little arena itself. It was Rhino, and then I think from there it went to Samoa Joe.
Oh, it might have been a squash match before that, but yeah, his first real match, I believe was against Rhino, and people were just booing him because he really couldn't work at that point.
No,
but I think the problem is he had the tools to be great. He had a great crop of talent he could have worked with in NXT. They had to keep him there for like 5 years, and then he could have been really well, right? But I think Noah just brought up a point that I didn't even think about. They had him talk. That fucked him. They had him talk, and he never should have spoken a word. Why does a lone wolf got to speak?
Bingo.
You know what I mean? Like, why does it got to talk?
I mean, it's the same thing that killed Goldberg in WCW. When all they had him say was "Who's next?" then there was that intrigue.
Yeah.
But when he started cutting promos, it was like, okay, change the channel.
Yeah, exactly.
What's WWF doing right now?
Triple H is in the ring cutting a promo.
Well, shit.
I am the game.
Because I am
the game.
I wanted Baron Corbin to work, but he couldn't do a Hurricane Rana 630 from the top.
He's no Sheamus.
He couldn't do a bro kick.
He's too small.
Sheamus is great. Sheamus needed exactly what you said, James. He didn't have 5 years in NXT. He had 5 years in the WWE, and
he came straight into the WWE and ran roughshod.
I never seen someone who was not ready for the top get to the top, and then who when he was then mid card, but he was still at the top. And then he slowly went down the card and got better, and now he's in the mid card, but should be at the top. It's a weird. That's the whole career of Sheamus in a nutshell.
And the thing, the only thing he hasn't done in his entire career is win the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah,
I'm wondering why. It's because at the beginning he was so intertwined in the world heavyweight titles. Is why
John Cena.
Well, I mean, he won. The world heavyweight title was the people called the Super Intercontinental title, so that kind of counts.
Yeah, big point. Oh yeah, Jinder Mahal. That's right, 2017. Jinder Mahal successfully beat Baron Corbin after he cashed in.
Oh my God! Oh no! Yeah, the heel on heel cash in that was thwarted by John Cena and absolutely jabronied him at SummerSlam that same year.
And we forgot that too. They've done a lot of things.
Oh, that fan didn't forget. That fan flipped off John Cena with malice.
Yeah, well.
Are we sure that wasn't me?
I think so. It was a woman. It wasn't
during my hate Cena days.
Bro,
if you could find the clip on YouTube, just look at the way John Cena is smiling at the fan that is emphatically putting the bird straight up to his nose.
Yeah, and and the funny thing is too, this is during Cena's time where he was elevating everybody, even if he got wins. So the fact that he couldn't even do that for Corbin, bro. Like they fucked him, bro.
Dumpster fire.
Yes.
Corbin really just wasn't ready. He was one of those football talents that they signed, and just to be real, he's lasted a lot longer than really any of the other football players, I want to say.
True that, but now you got where football players is almost a focus.
Yeah,
I would say you might be right. I mean, maybe full time, but I feel like Goldberg has to have him beat, right?
Oh well, I mean, yeah, I'm talking about now. Goldberg is back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay, so full timer, yeah, probably.
As long as he doesn't show up this year at WrestleMania, I don't need Goldberg.
Well, actually, no, because what about The Rock?
What about The Rock?
Yeah,
that's right. Football background. That's true. You're right.
And Roman, former CFL
Corbin
guy.
Play pro though.
At pro. I
think he was on the bench or something.
Yeah, mostly. Hey, Brock Lesnar counts.
He was with the Colts in 2009.
Yeah, so
and the freaking Brock Lesnar was with the Vikings, the Minnesota Vikings.
And 05, right? He was in the Vikings.
Yes.
So yeah, he was just technically it would be Brock, I think.
Let's see, Baron Corbin. He played 4 Division 2 national championships as an offensive lineman with Northwest Missouri State before going undrafted to the NFL in 2009. Latched on to the Colts multiple times for landing future deal with Arizona Cardinals.
Yep, it says he was basically a training partner here. He was a practice squad member only.
Who knows,
man?
I'm
really just because we don't really hear about those football players coming in and lasting also. I mean, look what's happening with Tony Khan and Sangam Singh right now. You know what I mean? He signed him. He signed him because he has that Netflix documentary, 1 in a Billion, and look where that's going. That is some of the most. Big G loves it, when Jeff Jarrett's on television. But that is some of the most cringe television ever when that guy's on there.
Yeah,
that's fair.
To be fair, let's do. This is one thing. I just realized another way they actually could keep him on. So, as a promo and as a wrestling character, sucks. We've established this. Yeah. And even if he didn't, he's been killed to death anyway.
Yes.
However, as a talker behind the booth, put him on commentary. He's not bad.
There you go.
Or have him host a podcast show for WWE. Like, I could actually see Corbin doing something like that. Because when you don't give him gimmicks and you don't try to force him down people's throats and you just have him talk just like as a normal dude, highly interesting to listen to.
Backstage interviewer.
Yeah, maybe a backstage interviewer, maybe a podcast host, maybe a commentator.
I like the commentary idea, except do it the way ECW did it that one night with Taz. You know, just don't show the commentary booth all night. Just have whoever and Corbin do commentary, and then the very end of the evening have a goodbye, and it'd be Baron Corbin there to sign off and everything. Like, you know, because the whole thing with ECW, Joey Styles and Taz did commentary, and not once did they say who was on commentary. And
Yeah,
then they
true.
cut to Joey Styles, and they were like, "And if you enjoy the commentary tonight, my co-commentator is a guy named Peter Sinercha, but you may know him best as Taz."
Taz, yep.
And they panned out, and they showed him and Taz sitting next to each other, and was like, "Okay."
Wow.
Taz can do more than just suplex people and whip some
Put him
ass.
to sleep. It's a mission master.
That could be how they handle the Corbin situation, is do something very similar.
The only problem with that, JJ, the problem is now in mainstream WWE TV, it doesn't matter what show you watch, they're almost always a feature because they're right there at ringside.
I know.
They're not up on the stage anymore, hidden off in the shadows like they do AEW, where they only show them. Even so, we're going to go backstage now. And even then, if AEW did want to, they didn't have to show the comments. You could just try and go off my voice. I love the idea, but they would have to rearrange that whole set.
It would be interesting to see them try and pull it off, but I know they could.
I think also, like, and wrestling should just do this because, like, MMA does this, I think, somewhat. Have like a commentator for, you know, when the competitors are making their entrances, have the guy talk strategy. I could see Corbin talking strategy about one of the guys. You know, that would be interesting. Like
NXT trainer type role, because
yes.
He knows how to talk. Like, I was just watching Chris Van Vliet's interview with Matt Morgan, you guys. And I was just thinking, when they were training Matt Morgan, if he would have just had a friend driving with him every day that was like, listen, you're big, you got the size, you know what I mean? You got the look. But one of the most major thing, about 75% of the fact that you're going to make this job is you're going to have to be able to talk. So I wish he would have just had somebody talking with him every day and just explaining to him the techniques of what you can do in a promo. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's one thing I think Baron Corbin could possibly do, at least push the people to do the right things. Just because he couldn't technically get like an A in all of the, you know, different things that he was doing, he could help people to know what you need to do, because he had every quality that you need to make a main eventer. He just really couldn't get it all the way together, man.
Yeah, he couldn't put all the pieces together for the puzzle.
But guys, I want to ask.
Sorry, no. Time he tried to put the piece together for the puzzle got changed out before he really was able to try and really bring it together.
Well, it was the blueprint, so I assume trying to make a blueprint puzzle was hard to find the pieces. You know.
So how many drafts of the blueprint are we talking about here?
Yes.
More importantly than Corbin, I mean, I assume they signed JBL to a longer contract, but they just don't see it working. What's going to happen with JBL?
Legends contract, probably.
Gonna pair him with somebody else and let's do something else?
I don't see that.
They fire him because I still don't forgive him for how he treated Mauro Ranallo, but that's just me.
I miss that voice.
Yeah, so.
I mean, if they're going to put him with anybody right now, I think he could work alongside Lacey Evans.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Why not do that?
You know, heel. He always had the pro-America gimmick.
No.
I'm sitting here. I've been watching old No Way Outs because me and Jeff are going to do the top 10 No Way Out matches coming up in a couple of weeks. And they get ready to throw over to the Spanish announce commentators. And he's like, no, this is America. We speak English in America. Don't give me this bilingual crap. And he just goes off on this whole tirade. And with that angle, I could see him working alongside Lacey Evans, who they're really promoting as this ex-military, patriotic, you will salute me. Like, I could see it working.
The thing is, JJ, they did try the dynamic of Baron Corbin and Lacey Evans once.
Oh, yeah.
In mixed tag team action at the one-time only special WWE Stomping Grounds. And basically what happened, Baron Corbin, end of days, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins went rogue, and
500 people also showed up at a 18,000 seat arena.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That arena was so empty. Lord have mercy. Seth Rollins curb stomped Baron Corbin 3 times into the mat. Baron Corbin was buried. Lacey Evans walked away and just watched one from afar.
I'm not going to be for Lacey Evans anything because she's an autism denier, so she can...
I know you're not, but you're also anti-JBL, so it makes it even better.
I mean, yes, but here's the problem, though, because the person that was legitimately in the Army is Lacey Evans, and JBL tries to pretend like he is, but he's not, and he's not a tough guy. So if anything, the roles would have to be reversed, and she'd have to make JBL her whipping boy, and then, I don't know, he's a fucking...
I don't know, maybe he'd like that. But I digress.
Yeah, probably.
But bottom line, though, Baron Corbin, hey, I guess with maybe you tried, but at the end of the day, nobody thinks you failed.
Yeah,
nobody thinks that. Maybe not necessarily your fault.
He gets the Bart Simpson, at least you tried cake. Hopefully they'll be able to figure something out to keep him around, because I do like Corbin. I just think it's been shitty gimmicks.
Yep.
And I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's no turning back from that, unfortunately, especially in the wrestling industry.
And you just know he's always going to lose.
Yep.
Third angle, damn it.
Don't get me started on that. I'm still pissed off about
By
that.
the way, if you do fire Corbin, guess, motherfucker, you better hire Kurt Angle back and give him the match you wanted with Cena, you punks. Seriously. Like, give him the match you fucking wanted in the first place, if that's the case.
I don't know if Kurt Angle necessarily, James, can ever wrestle again with the way his body has been.
Have you seen him lately?
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Also, WrestleMania 40 is coming up, so that maybe. Yeah, maybe.
You never know. Before we get into our next topic, we're going to take a brief intermission, and here's a look at what you can find via FTW on the Jay Hebert side of things.
It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands. You can never take away the power of my soul.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Grand Slam Rampage and Dynamite Watch Party. Shared Experiences by Mistress Audio and Jay Hebert Side 95. Survivor Series 10-year retrospective. The Jay Hebert Side of Things, Episode 3. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play Series. watch-alongs for Halloween Havoc 97 and Fully Loaded 2000. All of A Simple Man's Brand's Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, and Retro Wrestling Review series. The entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play series. All of AEW's watch parties the last 4 weeks. Wrestle Kingdom 17 coverage in conjunction with the Jeff Meacham Network. A Simple Take. Both episodes available now. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Royal Rumble Match Marathon with retros of events following Marathon. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
Out of my head.
There you go.
Whoa!
That's a little bit out there, just going late. Just gonna go along with the mood and just keep moving forward. Where is my mind? Anyway, moving on.
Moving on to some AEW news.
AEW! Sorry, continue.
Jesus Christ! Oh my God!
We got a little bit of news that came out a couple weeks ago. Actually, February has been a pretty busy month for AEW news briefs. You know, we didn't touch on this a couple weeks ago, but AEW is launching a series of house events.
Gotta love a house show.
They're beginning to tour and do house shows, which I think is huge for AEW.
True. That's a big thing because we know who's the head of that department. I think that's one Jeff Jarrett, correct?
Oh,
yes.
God.
Bar none. And remember, that was the reason he was brought in to help prioritize and manage live events. And that's why we're able to see AEW reaching not only different markets for the first time, but now they're finally starting a house show tour. Now, whether or not I go to this, that comes down to, well, again, scheduling and financing. Because that's also a hell of a bus ride and overnight lodging. But I digress. Anyway, good for them, because if you want to expand the outlook of your business, you gotta go take a chance and show yourself off to those that may be unfamiliar with you. So it'll be really interesting to see what sort of outlook and what sort of presentation these house shows bring and are perceived as too. I can only imagine there's probably like blogs and blogs about the very first house show as well. So with how AEW is always so interactive with their fan base as well, I'm curious what they do here. I think of it like this. I went to a WWE Live, and WWE Live shows way different than a WWE TV-based show, because at a live show, you literally get match, and then they talk about, okay, this is coming up, this scheduling, match, and it just keeps going, okay? The action keeps flowing. And an actual, SmackDown or Raw taping, so much damn empty, pointless freaking space. I could hear myself literally whistling in between my ears with how dull and bored it was when they didn't have something going on in the ring. It wasn't as, proactive as it seems. They need to find a better way to engage their audience when it comes to the main stage, or just get the action constantly going. So these house shows, I feel they're going to be on par with what WWE does with the house shows, which again, I find more engaging because it keeps on flowing. But kudos to them, and I'm curious to see where they go next. And someone pointed out, actually, that the venue they're going to in Troy is an old TNA stomping ground. Again, Jeff Jarrett, hey, there's a little bit of continuity for you, symbolism. I'm just saying, hey, Jeff Jarrett, TNA Impact Wrestling was once here for an actual pay-per-view in the Glass City Convention Center, Toledo, Ohio. Just saying. But hey, kudos for AEW. I hope it brings them much more success and visibility.
Yeah, I definitely think this is a good thing for them. Safet asks, what took them this long to get house shows running? Honestly, Safet, I think they just needed to grow their fan base.
Exactly. You don't
they've been going for a few years, and they just had to grow, plant the seeds, let it grow. And to your point, Noah, it's come to that point again for AEW, to use another TNA pun. It's come to a turning point, if you will, where AEW needs to go all in on themselves again.
Yep.
And it's time to expand to the next level.
We already know that they're going to London some point this year, so they're already treading international markets. And we also know they're also trying to bring more visibility to their product across international markets with a recent deal that was made official for them too. Kudos to them. So again, finally go all in. I think they're finally starting to try that, JJ. And I feel it really comes down to the fact that maybe now they finally have some idea what the direction of what I think is going to be the separate Ring of Honor division.
That's a good point too. They've ran shows, I believe, in Canada. They've, of course, run stuff in the States. They need to now, I think, also, in addition to going to London, they need to run a show in Mexico.
Yep.
Japan. Need to run in Japan.
Well, Mexico, I think, would be a little bit easier because of the closeness to the States.
That too.
Figure they've got
scope.
Our AAA natives.
Yep.
Maybe they could work a deal with the promotion to use their home base arena to do a live show or even a pay-per-view event.
If they do that, they definitely got to keep the 6-sided ring just for the culture, though, in Mexico.
Agreed.
That's a big thing in Mexico.
Agreed. I always liked TNA with the 6-sided ring because it made the product stand out.
Truly made an alternative.
I know there's a lot of talents that hated that ring. So when they went back to the standard 4-sided, they were just like, thank you, Jesus. But I loved the 6-sided ring. I thought it made things like Ultimate X, and then, of course, the 6 sides of steel just so much more intriguing.
Yes.
James, what are your thoughts on the house show circuit?
I think it's good for AEW that they're finally branching out into the house show circuit. I think it's been long enough now, and considering the fact that this is all kind of lining up the way it's lining up as Punk is now being positioned on actual AEW advertising again, I don't think that's coincidence that that's all happening at the same time. I think that's that's the right step to go in, and that's considering the big stars they already have still on the roster anyway. You got MJF, you got Adam Cole, you got Bryan Danielson, you got a lot of these guys that are going to intrigue fans to watch. I think house show is the way to go. Definitely will. If anybody is going to be able to run that department well as he can, it's Jeff Jarrett, because when he was running house shows for TNA before they completely booted him, and then they weren't selling out baseball stadiums, and it looked barren. Jeff was really good at getting those house shows for TNA. So imagine what he could do on a grander scale with a bigger budget. And I think that it's going to test what he could do, but I think he's going to nail it out of the park.
Like Jeff says, it's not hard to book. It's just hard to finance.
And Tony has already financed it very well, so I don't think we got to worry about that.
Yeah. Mikey T, what do you think?
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's like Jeff Jarrett is not the guy. You know what I mean? The thing is, you can have all the money, and you got to have the knowledge of what to book. You know what I mean? Jeff Jarrett just not have the knowledge of what to book. So maybe Tony Khan he's not letting him book, first of all.
No.
He's letting him go out there and find these arenas, you know what I mean? Which is one of his strong suits. Hell, they've even got AEW coming over here to the URI, the Ryan Center, which they've had several different performances over here. I think Drake even came in here at his really early career. They actually had Will Ferrell come out here when he was promoting Anchorman. And we all know the phenomenon Anchorman became. So, yeah, having Jeff Jarrett, you know what I mean, go into like these nook and cranny spots and get AEW in all the little corners of the world. I mean, it's good, you know what I mean, because Jeff Jarrett has been there before running the A, B, and C shows from the WWE channels from back in the day. You know what I mean? That's all they're really looking to duplicate. You know what I mean? I find it to be, honestly, I find it to be like he's trying to use what they did in the 80s and the 90s to work in the 2020s. And I just don't think he's going to find the same success with that. You know what I mean? Sure, he's got a roster now where he could literally run A, B, and C shows. He could have Miro, he could have Aleister Black on the B, Miro on the C. You know, even then the C show even seems strong. You know what I mean? Or if they're doing what you guys are saying with CM Punk reappearing on the advertising, how are we going to use CM Punk to our advantage? All right, let's put CM Punk on the house shows. You know what I mean? Let's let him put him on the house shows rather than our television. That could make their house shows be strong. Because honestly, I'm not seeing a reason to tune into an AEW house show. We look at the attendance figures. Last year, the attendance figures were like at an all-time high. Now they're at seemingly a low. You know what I mean? From what I'm hearing everybody say, from what I'm reading on the internet, their figures are down to a certain extent. Why are they doing the house shows now? If 3,000 people are showing up, 4,000 people are showing up to Dynamite, how many do you think are going to show up to a house show? What do they really want to sell out 800 people at a show? They really want to do house shows that bad?
Well, again, I think it all depends on if they finally got the other, you know, the children to finally become adults with the drama crap. So I think which it looks like if Punk's on the advertising, they did. So
comes down to me for corporate structure and a name vow. And I don't expect a house show to sell clearly as much as a regular TV show. And while you do talk about these figures and numbers, Mikey, let's just put it out there at the end of the day. We so far haven't heard anything as far as negative network reception to what AEW has done now versus then. If anything else, some people think AEW is in a stronger spot because they are taking these extra business approaches to expansion and further exposure. Long-term details will tell the future of the product, especially when it comes to TV contract negotiations. But as far as the network's concerned, if we're not hearing any negative activity from that, the metrics are just metrics.
Well, in response to that, I mean, if we look at what AEW has been doing, I've been watching since the inception of it when they did 1.4 million viewers, the guys that really wanted to tune in. You know what I mean? Everybody who said fuck going out on Wednesday night, excuse me. You know what I mean?
This is open mic night, Mikey T.
Damn it, Mikey, come on, man. Continue. That's good.
You know what I mean? But for the last 3 or 4 years, whatever, 5 years, whatever it's been, they've had a million viewers, 800, 700, 900, 1.1 million. You know what I mean? They've had basically the same amount of viewers. It's like, when does TNT, TBS say enough? 1 million viewers a week just ain't doing it for us. We're not cutting you $100 million check for no million viewers a week, just to be real. Like WWE, I mean, they're doing their 2.5 million viewers a week now, so maybe I'm wrong about that. You know, maybe TNT is going to love and they're going to gobble it up. But I just kind of feel like they're like, you guys haven't made any real improvements when it comes to ratings. You're just still there, coasting along. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also know they went through a recent corporate restructuring, of course, because Tony Khan has really talked with these people who he's close with as well, and that probably does also work in his favor. So maybe there is a certain level of contentment because they're comfortable with what they're doing. I'm sure they want to see them excel and above, and we've seen oscillating results. I'm not, blind to all that. I see that. I hear it too. So I get you. Again, though, I say it like this, though. AEW is not WWE, and they're not trying to be, especially with the fact that the actual brand itself, the trademark, the company, its history, we're not even 5 years into this stuff yet, Mikey.
Yeah, they're trying to be WCW. You're right.
At this point, that's probably that's probably a fair comparison considering who's in there. But at the end of the day, you don't try to be what's already passed. You try to be something different. And so far, in what it's worth, in the 2000s, whatever you didn't even call it, AEW, still a thing.
No, Tony Khan's trying to do his thing that he wants to do.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, a booker has that right. If he's the one that literally has the want, at the end of the day, it's all about who finances it as well, not just necessarily who books it. In this case, Tony Khan, he plays both hats. Maybe sometimes more so than he should. But again, different discussion for another day.
Yep. Yeah. That's really it with that.
Yeah,
There
man.
we go.
AEW is really at a genesis, and soon, you guys, they just might have to make that sacrifice. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
it's about to be. I could be a rebellion.
Well, again, the TV deal for TNT is what? The end of 2023, somewhat for 2024. MJF talks about the big word 2024. I think something is going to definitely show us the future of All Elite Wrestling come the end of this year, not necessarily through it.
You're right, Noah. There is absolutely no surrender in Tony Khan. And to be real with you, all I see is given that hard justice.
God damn it, Mikey T with the pay-per-view puns.
Tony Khan, unbreakable.
Hey, I get it. You know what, man? I get it. You're on point here, all right? Either way, we'll see if Tony Khan eventually makes it to victory.
If he's
road.
able to sell out TIAA Bank Field soon, he'll be on the victory road and becoming bound for glory.
Or will Switchblade Jay White come in and will AEW be under siege? Rebellion waiting to happen!
Hold on. Bullet.
Sorry, JJ got me.
Against all odds. Stay tuned, folks.
Yes.
Well, in other AEW news, it was announced earlier this week that they
That's what I was talking about.
inked a streaming deal with ESPN for Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific Islands. Let me see. Over here, we've got Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Samoa, Tonga, the Cook Islands, the Solomon Islands, and a whole bunch of other islands that I'm going to butcher if I try to pronounce. Well, Tahiti, I can pronounce that one.
Hold on. American
Samoa.
Yeah, there we
the
go.
Marshall Islands, Palau, the
Marshall
Federated States of Micronesia.
Papua New Guinea.
Oh, maybe QT Marshall was able to get the deal because Marshall Islands is on here.
Damn it!
Maybe he's parts of
Shit, they got it in Fiji.
Yeah.
So here's another huge stride for AEW because ESPN is a Disney affiliate.
Yeah,
true.
That's true.
Wait.
So think about this for a second, okay? ESPN is a Disney affiliate and AEW is streaming on ESPN.
Yes.
Disney Plus has WWE in certain overseas countries.
Yes.
Disney has their hands in both cookie jars right now.
Yes.
Well, you also got to consider AEW has their hands in the Warner and Disney cookie jars right now.
There's a lot of mix up and a lot of variety in the jar per se. It's just a matter of what you pull out. I also think about it like this though. Australia is the home to the Fale Dojo and also a different dojo in the playground of NJPW, Japan Pro Wrestling, that has become very clear a business relationship with not only AEW but Impact Wrestling. I'm just saying, if Forbidden Door is going to be a thing once again this year, there might be a little bit of foreshadowing. But like I also said, it's good to see AEW exploring and expanding their business model into other markets.
Yeah.
And ESPN, that's a big one no matter where you are in the world. So kudos for them.
Yeah, absolutely. The question now becomes how long until they can negotiate a deal with ESPN America to get streaming for AEW.
Considering Tony Khan likes to make AEW feel and seem sports-centric.
I mean, I think Tony and Jarrett and whoever else is involved, the Jacksons, Kenny, need to
Jericho,
seriously start
probably.
trying to put this down because, I mean, WWE has created the blueprint, if you will.
Yes.
If AEW can get onto ESPN, they could, in theory, begin running 12 a year instead of their quarterlies.
Oh, God.
They could begin charging like WWE does and not have to pay per view. You know, even if Tony wants to set the base rate higher, like I would pay $25 a month. for ESPN if it meant that I got to see the AEW pay-per-view events too.
Oh, yeah, included with the actual ESPN service. Okay, yeah, that's a fair take, actually. Extra content. That's a fair
You
take.
know, as opposed to paying $50 for a pay-per-view, I'll pay $25 for the ESPN streaming and get the pay-per-views too, or $19.99. I don't expect them to be as inexpensive as WWE because they don't have the library.
No.
Even if you just took the AEW and Ring of Honor libraries, which they're not because Ring of Honor's got their own streaming service.
Thank Christ.
You know, there's still not enough hours to justify too high of a price point. But they also can't offer it for too little either because they're making bank on their pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So it becomes a catch-22, I think, here because they lose the $50 a month or the $50 a quarter, excuse me, from the people that pay for their pay-per-views. But in turn, if they started running 12, the revenues may go up some.
Yep. But again, it's also that thing, though, where I think about quantity over quality. And yes, sometimes these pay-per-views might be longer than expected. But like I said, boom, 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 boom. They keep the action constantly going, and you do get your money's worth.
Even if they only expanded to 6 instead of 4.
I did
and they did every other month.
Right.
You're still getting $50 per quarter, roughly, as opposed to, you know, pay-per-view revenues.
Mikey, you got something you were trying to talk about, man? You got a metric or something or
Yes.
financial thought? What's on your mind?
So basically I went and did it, you know what I mean? Say they sell, you know, their max amount of pay-per-views they're selling is like 250,000. When they're selling 250,000 pay-per-views for $50 a pop, they're making 12,500,000 per show. Now they're doing 4 of those shows a year. That brings them to make $50 million a year. If they're doing the shows on ESPN for $25 and they're getting the same number, which they would more than likely get more with that ESPN bump. But if they're getting the same, they're making $6,250,000 a show. But if they do that 12 times a year, they'll make $75 million in the year. They will make $25 million more by doing the additional shows.
There you go. That just goes to show again how powerful it is when it comes to what supports you, let alone what presents you. And ESPN, you don't get more sports centric than that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you could even split it into, you know, like we were talking about the house show circuit. The 6 shows out of the year can be your A talent.
Yeah.
6 shows out of the year can be your B talent. The people that you see on Darkmoor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, have a couple of main eventers there, you know, maybe have your TNT and your TBS champions on those shows.
Right.
Defending their titles. You know, maybe have the tag champs on there. But save your world champion, your women's champions for the main card shows.
Yeah, let's not even bring up how Fox actually likes CM Punk. I mean,
yeah.
Let's not bring that up. I mean, I'm sure they want CM Punk wrestling on Fox. Maybe AEW goes to Fox.
Well, we did talk about how we always go back to previous open mic nights. I believe there was one conversation where we talked about Fox and WWE have been at odds ends when it comes to revenue stream. But
yeah. It's interesting because, you know, when they get their hands in these cookie jars, they're actively that only means more money because they're making more deals. Because we're just looking at pay-per-view prices when in reality they're also going to get rights fees as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony Khan, his whole motto of business and why he's made so much and such a profit on AEW, even with the amount of viewership he's got, is because of the right fees deals he's made, and apparently that hasn't stopped. And
no, it's expanding. That's what's even crazier about it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. So, like when you really think about it, it's like AEW at least went, according to Nielsen, which we have already debunked that Nielsen doesn't really mean jack and shit anymore, especially nowadays.
No.
But even with the number we see from Nielsen, companies, and especially television companies, want cheap live content because cheap live content is the money revenue drawing thing. Even with the show that does, close to 800,000, a million views like AEW, that's cheap live content, and somebody's going to see the advertisements on that, and a lot of advertising revenue is going to go on there, which means Tony Khan is making bank for the rights fees to air that program.
I mean, James, we've seen Dynamite sponsored by HBO Max, Warner Brothers products as a whole.
Not only that. By the way, another thing that we didn't even bring up, just struck a deal with frickin' Amazon also.
Oh, that's
AEW.
right. They're actually selling their merch.
Yeah. So AEW and Amazon are collabing now, and they have a bunch of merch deals. Tony is making big money moves as far as how he's expanding his business operations. People don't give him enough credit for that.
Well, also, you got to consider, again, people don't probably look at it that in deep, too. We do, because more so, we are intrigued, but we're also invested and passionate about it. And by invested, I don't mean we literally have money in the companies. I'm just saying, we're just talking about from a content perspective.
I said this on Twitter. I think it was Wednesday. This was after Dynamite went off the air, and I actually watched it in the comfort of my bed. I was like, this is great because AEW is doing well financially and creatively, and WWE is doing well financially and creatively.
Right.
And same with New Japan. If you're a fan of Japanese wrestling, that's doing well financially and creatively.
Hell of a show this morning.
All of the three biggest companies in the world, that's huge. That's big time huge. The wrestling industry is making money. And if the three top companies in the world are making money, everybody's eating. Everybody is making money.
That's why Impact Wrestling, Impact Wrestling is still a thing, and I have a stronger roster they haven't had in a long time, and they have a great renewed business relationship with NJPW that, again, we're getting a freaking super show during WrestleMania weekend once again, NJPW and Impact Wrestling.
Yep. So big deal, man. All around, AEW is doing well, and I'm really looking forward to where they go next and just where the industry is going next. Because I even said it on Twitter. I think right now we're about to go into a high period for wrestling. I think the Rumble was just a start, and I think it's only the beginning. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that is going to all come together for all the companies involved. I sense there's going to be a big boom for wrestling. Maybe not as big as the Attitude Era, but it is definitely on the precipice of something big if all the stars align right now.
Well, according to WrestleMania week, not weekend, but week, and I'm looking at all companies, I think you're more on point than I thought. And again, Lord help my wallet, Lord help my voice.
Yeah, absolutely. I pity Noah when it comes to WrestleMania week. Thursday, a double feature Friday, a double feature Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Yeah, that's 5 shows. That's a whole week.
That's 5 days.
Yeah.
Figure 7 shows because 2 of them are double features.
Yep.
Right.
7 shows in 5 days that this man is going to be calling. I'll be alongside him for a good chunk of it because I'm the typical WWE guy, but the Hall of Fame. Well, the Hall of Fame I should be able to do because that'll probably be on the Peacock Network.
Yeah.
But the Raw after Mania, it'll probably have to be you two gentlemen like when we did Raw's 30.
All right.
And then me and Jeff coming in for the West Coast feed like we did.
Hey, we'll get Moonlight Mirage once again for her color take too. What's this? Yeah. That's a polite way of saying it. WrestleMania week's gonna be wild. Okay, what am I watching so far? I got Josh Burnett's Bloodsport. I got the Impact NJPW Super Show. I got freaking Hall of Fame. I got Super Card of Honor. There's the Stand and Deliver. There's WrestleMania Night 1. There's WrestleMania Night 2. And there's the Raw to WrestleMania. That's as far as what I'm watching. As far as video content, I might actually make a freaking promo video for that.
And didn't you say you're going to start making promo videos of like the standings and all the rankings too, Noah?
I did, yeah. I'm thinking about doing that maybe quarterly. So I think I will actually first do that after WrestleMania week concludes and I establish everything. Because why the heck not?
If you need me to co-host on with that with you, I'm down, bro.
I'll be talking about all 3 leagues: WWE, AEW. Well, AEW only have 1 show at the time. 4 leagues, excuse me. Watch AEW, Ring of Honor, WWE. Heck, NXT. I make NXT separate, so NXT and Impact. So yeah, I think I will literally do that at some point during after WrestleMania concludes, and then of course when JJ gets his voice back, unless JJ, someone must substitute. As I said, going forward this year, a cheap plug, there will be WWE Premium Live event, Simple Takes, following the weekend after the show concludes. Tentative Tuesday night.
I'm so excited for it, and I've been told by the man whose name is on the marquee, who is in our private chats, to go ahead and roll this video right now. So check this out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Lord help
Hey.
Shit. It's the Meach.
Hey, good old JM. Good to see you. And yeah, Lord help my voice.
Yes.
The Meach says.
Noah's calling all the things. Says, may God have mercy on his soul.
Yes.
Do you smell what the multiverse of media is cooking?
Yeah, there you go.
That's right.
Let's freaking go. That's all I gotta say. Let's freaking go. That's not going to include the predictions videos I'm going to do and probably be part of too.
Yeah, for real. And think about that. 7 shows you're going to be calling the action for.
Yeah.
Only one of them is a Raw. So 6 shows you're actually going to have to do predictions for.
Yeah. Noah.
The week isn't long enough for you, my brother. You go have to start like the week before.
So what we're gonna do for Noah is we'll help you out a little bit, brother. The Wednesday after, since you're doing your simple thing on Tuesday, Wednesday after, we'll get you into a hospital. We'll get you a little breathalyzer. We'll get you a little little fresh air, little sunshine. Do your thing and get you good and healthy that way because you're calling the AEW show that Friday. So there you go.
What we need to do, Meech, is we need to go to Walmart.com.
Yes.
Order this man like 3 or 4 cases of Mountain Dew.
Accurate.
And a 40-pack of water.
Baja Blast, though. Baja Blast because things.
That way he can have the Mountain Dews during the call, during the action, stay alert, stay awake, but then the water to keep him hydrated afterwards.
Yes, because as I learned at Disneyland yesterday, hydration is everything.
Oh, you don't got to tell me twice.
Yes. But yeah, it was. I full disclosure, I am up in the loft at the sister's house because I've been called into double duty, which is why I'm not on camera, which is why I'm not home or at the hockey game tonight, or doing the Disney thing at work all week. I am on uncle duty, but I wanted to come in and make sure I ran that promo because now that we know for sure that Impact and New Japan are doing their thing, which if I get to go to all these shows, I'm gonna need to join the hospital bed with Noah because goddamn, I'm gonna be tired as hell too.
You and Sydney both.
Seriously.
Jeff, I will definitely need. I would definitely appreciate if I could have everything go through my channel as well. So we might. Can we do it on your StreamYard also? So that way.
That will. So here's my thing. Like I said, I can have up to, I think, 8 outlets. For pay-per-views, I'm gonna keep it on YouTube because Twitter makes us no money. That's fucking useless.
Yeah.
So we figure we've got yours, mine, JJ's, Noah's. After our meeting Monday, possibly Greg's. We'll talk more about that later weeks. But anyway, so that's only 5. We're good, dude. We're good. Anyway, I'm going to sound like this while I'm on the rest of the show because I'm trying to keep my voice down because we do have a 5-year-old sleeping down the hall, so there is that.
Yeah, true.
But when JJ brought up this discussion in the chat about what our main event topic is going to be, I had to be a part of it. And JJ, I think I sent you my graphics earlier because I can't share screen because I'm on my phone. But if I didn't, I will send them to you. It's mind-boggling to me that they haven't announced Hall of Fame candidates yet. Like, what the shit?
I would think we at least have our headliner by now. No, they're literally holding out till after Elimination Chamber.
I really think, and we'll get more into it as we get into the topic, but I really think they kind of hinted heavily based on the amount of promotion Batista's movie got. But
yeah. Which speaking of which, I have mine ready if we want to go to mine.
Give me 1 second, James, because I'm gonna save Jeff's pictures.
Much appreciated.
Onto my computer so I can share screen his.
Yeah,
when it is time.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally this is a. Let's see, it's 9 o'clock. I was supposed to be at Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena, 4.5 hours ago, and it just kind of went the way it went today. So I have no computer, I have no anything in that, and I have my tripod, so that's why I'm off camera because trying to hold it up in the air for however long more show is going to be, I'd have a dead arm.
Fair enough.
Yes. But,
right, I just saved all of Jeff's.
So yeah, so while JJ is finishing saving and getting ready to load, I just have to say, as far as people have their hands in the cookie jar, I said it in the private chat. You forget, ESPN is owned by Disney. We have all the cookies. We're the dark side. There's that. Anyway.
I did say Disney owns the world when it comes to media. It's like the juggernaut that can't be stopped.
Well, no, it's funny. I turned on Disney Plus earlier today, and I realized Willow was on there, and I'm like, but Willow's under the Lucasfilm hub. I forgot that Lucasfilm and Fox did Willow. I for some reason forgot that factoid. So once we get our hands on Indiana Jones, we will literally own the damn world.
Oh no! Oh no! Too much power.
That's right. Too much power. What are you trying to say? No, do we have a problem here?
Give me a second now, gentlemen, because Mikey T just messaged me his photos.
There we go. Well, everyone's got to make sure we're on point. All right. Everyone got to make sure. Oh, we're on point, Derek.
I could have just sent JJ yours directly if I'd known, Mikey. I did notice.
Yeah, I was going to ask JJ how to cross stream them or however you guys said that.
Share screen.
Well, I have mine ready to go.
Well, the thing is, when you're on a computer, you can opt to share screen if you're in a StreamYard stream. But I'm on my phone, so I can't do that. I don't know what you're using, Mikey, but use the computer.
Yeah. So
we'll give you a tutorial next time. Just fuck it for now.
Right there. Okay, I see. Yeah. But I guess that's pointless now since I sent them to you, JJ.
I've already got them saved. So
I was calling the NWA player. I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll private message these to Jeff. Here you go, boss man."
I ruined the surprise on this all the way around.
You know what?
You did.
James basically gave away some foreshadowing for at least one.
Noah, did you send me a list too?
I did.
Piss. Okay, hang on.
Don't worry, man.
Oh
no! Again. It was one of those things where it's like we knew what we were doing, just didn't know where it was going. Don't worry about it. Anyway, the fact that they haven't even announced the headline yet before the Elimination Chamber, I can't recall if that's normal or if that is normal. Because again, after the Elimination Chamber, which right here on the WWE for Media, one way for the day, me and JJ for the first time ever will call the Elimination Chamber Premium Live event, headlined by Roman Reigns defending the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship against Sami Zayn. Cheap plug. I can't recall if that is normal because, yeah, after Elimination Chamber, there is nothing between now and freaking WrestleMania. Just a bunch of TV.
Part of me wants to believe that they're not promoting Hall of Fame or really anything beyond the Cody match hardcore because they want to make sure Sammy gets all of that rub. As they freaking should.
I just wonder if that means after Elimination Chamber, could that rub be diminished, or is that what they're hoping? Like, is Sammy too hot right now in WWE?
We'll see next Saturday. You know,
I think people forget. That if Cody, if Roman were to find a way to screw Sammy, and then Sammy goes for the tag team titles, which I think is where they're going to go.
Right.
There's always the chance that after Cody wins the belts at Mania, he could give Sammy a shot out of respect.
I would say a shot at least. Yeah.
Like that's definitely the way I would go.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
but we digress. We'll talk about that Saturday.
The reasoning behind it happening after the chamber, you know, we talk about what's the significance, what's the importance of it happening after the chamber. The most important reason for it to happen after the chamber, in my opinion, would be if it was The Rock. You know what I mean? The Rock comes out, confronts Roman, gives us a little bit of a brief preview of what's to come next year because he's not in shape this year or whatever.
I'm busy.
You know what I mean?
Well,
yeah, that's what I think it could possibly be. But I did my picks just based on my actual thoughts, not my predictions of what they were.
Well,
No, that's perfect. That's all I wanted. What my goal was with this is to try to get everybody's take as to who you feel in your heart of hearts. If you were Triple H, Nick Khan, Stephanie while she had her hands in the jar, trying to book the Hall of Fame for this year, who would you put in? You know, and it's too difficult to try to do a Warrior Award recipient because you never know what the justification is for something like that. You don't know who's really done those type of things for the business, so just throw that out. So a headliner, a female superstar, a tag team or stable, a posthumous inductee, somebody who's deceased, passed away, and a celebrity.
Yep.
Those 5 main categories. WWE's been keeping it small lately.
Yep.
5 or 6 inductees.
Yep.
So there you go.
Well, JJ, think about it this way. You gave us 5 categories. There's 7 weeks to WrestleMania. The 6th week is Warrior Award. The 7th week is Legacy category.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true.
That's perfect booking. Well done, producer man.
So, James, you said yours is all ready to go. Go ahead and share screen your thing with me.
Alrighty, here
and
I go.
We will have you be the first one up.
Here I am. Hi.
There. Oh, geez. Hi. Okay.
They did graphics. Okay, of course you did.
Well, no, I didn't. Jeff actually did those.
Made these.
Gotcha. Jeff, you're brilliant. Anyway, go ahead.
So, my number 1 inductee, the headliner, is going to be The Rock.
No,
got to be The Rock.
I think that makes perfect sense.
I think the idea that you can't have wrestlers go in before they're fully officially retired is ridiculous. Just put him in already. He's more than deserved this time already. So just
no argument there.
Just give him the Hall of Fame induction. Next is Cyndi Lauper, Celebrity Wing, baby. Overdue.
Right.
Her role for WrestleMania 1 should, and considering her role in Hollywood was megastar at that time, I don't know why she hasn't been in already, but now would be the perfect time if you're going to do it in the headlining sense. Sable, because I had to think of a woman. So there you go.
Just a woman, so there you go.
Exactly there.
Oh, wait a second. You gave me 2 women then because you told me Wendy Richter for women, and then you also told me Sable. So you goofed. I goofed too.
Did I goof? Well, I have two women.
But
There we go.
Nothing
So
wrong with that.
Sable is another
Nothing wrong with
one.
that.
Why not? And then secondary inductee for Hollywood is Bautista.
Celebrity.
I almost went with doing a trifecta and also getting Cena in this, but I was thinking, you know what? They're probably going to save him for Massachusetts if they ever do a Mania at Fenway or at Foxborough, probably one of the two.
I mean, Philly's good for him too. Honestly, good
Yeah. Hollywood Blondes, because that makes the most sense. Hollywood Blondes. There you go.
Oh man,
I didn't even think about that when JJ brought it up last week.
And this would technically count as my a star that passed away section as well with Brian Pillman, but since that was a tag team, and I felt that was a bit of a cop out, Miss Elizabeth.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, also, James, for posthumous for the Blondes, you've got Brian Pillman, you've got Austin's hair, so they're both dead. So,
Oh no!
Yeah. I mean, he's not wrong. You know what? He's not wrong.
But yeah, Elizabeth again overdue.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
I swear I almost put Miss Elizabeth down, but I was like, maybe no, I'm gonna go with this because
Well, what's more Hollywood than the love story between Macho Man and her?
Oh, I get that. You're literally going with the theme based on the actual WrestleMania presentation, what I think is brilliant because I don't think the theme is fully enclosed sometimes when it comes to the class of the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Especially
Noah, are
that
you
they're
ready to share yours?
So what?
Are you ready to share screen yours?
I didn't receive anything, so
Yeah, I remember I never got his list. So I didn't. I just made graphics.
It's all right. I could just simply talk about it because at the end of the day,
fine.
that's really kind of what we're doing. I expected some people that are going to be similar or repeat. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll just premise Jeff. So headliner again, I was feeling the Rock, but I was like, look, he didn't get before. Give it to the man now. I went with Batista. Again, guy straight out of Hollywood, played in the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. At one point, he was supposed to be the headliner, and then that just fell through the cracks. So I feel like Batista, give him the shine, give him the moment. So that's it. The woman, Save T, you know me too well. And James already told you who my favorite knockout is. And she literally shares the same day as my birthday. Victoria. It surprised me that Victoria is not yet in the WWE Hall of Fame, considering her run in the company and also what she's done outside of it as well. Sable was definitely a close second for me. I was actually thinking about this when I was watching NWA. NWA with the Ricky Martin stuff, and I know that Jim Cornette introduced the Rock and Roll Express, so I went the opposite way for tag team. I sent the Midnight Express just because, just complete the whole bubble around that. Posthumous, that one was tricky for me because at first I was thinking Miss Elizabeth, but then I was like, wait, do I count her as the woman? I mean, she was a celebrity in her own right. Let's just put it out there, folks. She wasn't a wrestler, all right? She was the thing that completed Macho Man Randy Savage and made the Mega Powers a thing. Damn it. But I digress. But actually, I went a bit of a different route, and then I was thinking about, who people have been channeling as far as in WWE, some of the greats that I kind of aren't thinking about. I went with Bam Bam Bigelow, thinking about Bronson Reed being back in the company. He was a standout big guy, definitely during the Attitude Era. Again, they inducted Vader, so I think Bam Bam deserves just due as well.
Main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, exactly. Celebrity for me was tricky. I almost went. I feel like everyone's obvious choice in one way or another, and that was Cyndi Lauper. But instead, I went a little different because, again, she never competed. But when it came to her and what she gave to the WWE, I feel she deserves it. I picked Lillian Garcia.
Okay.
Because besides the Fink, you cannot give me a better overall for the long-term ring announcer, let alone a person that could sing the American anthem and drive a man to tears, than Lillian Garcia.
Okay. Okay.
There we go.
Safed, we just shared your comment that you posted prior to the one that you just threw in there.
Yep.
No need to repeat comments. All right, Mikey T, we're going to go to you next.
All right.
I'm about to pop your screen up just so you know the first one that's up is Celebrity.
So
I'm just going to start. Hold on, Mikey. And then I'm going to start scrolling through these one by one. Okay. So they may not be in an order. Just talk about them as they pop up.
All right. Cool. So my celebrity pick, Floyd Mayweather. I'm surprised they don't got Floyd in there already. You know, they're going to do it in Hollywood. I guess that's the best place to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get Floyd Mayweather in there. He knocked the Big Show out at WrestleMania. I kind of know, like, a lot of people have knocked the Big Show out at WrestleMania. It's not like one of the biggest accomplishments you could have. You know what I mean? I mean, for crying out loud, I was talking about Chris Van Vliet's interview with Matt Morgan. He said he was the third person to lift Big Show over his head. It's like, all right, dude, the third one. Okay,
it's true.
But yeah, Floyd Mayweather, man, let's get him in the Hall of Fame. That would make it star-studded.
And maybe he can get his YouTube boxing friends to just join him in the front row that he gave a huge payout to.
Yeah, he just rains a bunch of money on top of the fans.
Money.
Hey, you guys are lucky I didn't choose Jake Paul. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hell.
Barf.
All right, my posthumous release Hall of Fame is going to Brian Pillman. I'm pretty shocked he's not already in there. You know what I mean? But thinking back to it, you know, a lot of his career was in WCW, moving over to ECW, and then he really, you know what I mean? He had a lot of hype in WWF back in the day, but then he got his injury once he really got cooking with the Hart Foundation. It was kind of like, why the hell are you with the Hart Foundation? But I kind of like it. You know, it was almost kind of like this whole Sami Zayn thing that we got going on right now, or we had going on with the Bloodline, where it was like you're looking at Sami Zayn with the Bloodline, you're like, why the hell are you there? You would sort of see Brian Pillman standing in the ring back in the day with the Hart Foundation, and you would be like, he sticks out like a sore thumb, but it was just cool how they were.
That's a fair analogy.
Well,
I
Mikey,
didn't think about that at all.
Well, the difference with Brian is that Brian trained with the Hearts, competed in Stampede before he went to WCW. I'm pretty sure he dated one of the sisters before he started dating Terry Runnels, before, of course, he married Melanie. But I'm pretty sure he was, at least, if he didn't date one of the sisters, he definitely trained with the Hearts and competed in Stampede for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think he definitely was in Stu Hart's dungeon, I believe, as
Definitely
well.
in the dungeon.
Which is why he was a part of it. So he actually had like ties there.
Yep.
A couple of my other thoughts were Vader and Davey Boy Smith, but I do believe they were both actually inducted into the Hall of Fame.
They are.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Davey got it last year.
And I would have said Vader before Davey just because of the actually, did he get the WWE Championship? Vader didn't get the WWE Championship either.
Neither of them did, actually.
Yeah. So anyways, moving on to my female. I don't think there's any other pick for the Hall of Fame when it comes to women than Sable, even though, as I pointed out to everyone in our group chat, the woman is 55 years old. Stop drooling. But I digress.
No, that's Brock Lesnar and see if you survive the tail.
Anyway, so Sable going in there was kind of a no-brainer. Really got to love Sable. You know what I mean? She was dope as a face. She was cool as a heel when she was wearing that little boxing attire. It was like, damn, Sable in that boxing gear. All right. But anyways, we'll move on to my headliner.
I didn't know you get down and dirty like that, Mikey. Damn.
Hey, man.
Mikey gets down on Saturday.
What can I say? She was looking right. He was looking right.
James, you have no room to talk the way you were drooling over Natalia earlier this evening.
Hey, listen. Natalia Valkyra is my new favorite, and that's all you need to know.
God damn it. Shit. Oh, God. What did I walk into tonight?
Everybody
Jeff, you have
knew
no
Sable
idea.
was the hottest diva back in the day.
I was going to say, at least James was able to call the match, unlike me watching Roxanne Perez versus Gigi Dolan and JC Jane last week.
I got to carry everything here.
But his initial reaction to Natalia was worse than mine.
I went crazy. Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Mikey T. We're getting off topic. Finish your Hall of
Let's give this man the respect that he deserves. The man who would have powerbombed Batista's ass to hell if we're going to talk about headliners. But anyways,
and not the worst horseman.
So,
Yep,
yes,
there you go.
that's right. The man who actually was a horseman longer than Jeff Jarrett.
True.
That's questionable.
No.
Jeff's like, hey, if he's referring to Jeff as a horseman within the sentence, I'll give it to him. But yeah, no, Psycho Sid, man, you know, he headlined one of my favorite WrestleManias, WrestleMania 13. It's a lot of people's favorite WrestleManias when WWF was really still classic back in the day. You know what I mean? Back then, you didn't really know. Maybe I was just a dumb kid, but you didn't really know if Sid was going to lose to The Undertaker. And then The Undertaker came out with those silver gloves. And it was like, what? That was when he brought the silver gloves back out, right?
Briefly for a night, yes, sir.
Yeah. He brought the silver gloves back out. But I mean, Sid goes back further than that. You know, when he was Sid Justice, when he took
WrestleMania 8, the true double main event WrestleMania.
Right.
Oh, God.
Yep, Jeff. When he took Ric Flair's spot, I would have rather seen Ric Flair versus Hogan, but I wasn't really all the way there back at that point in time. You know what I mean?
But wait, are you telling me you didn't like that awesome Papa Shango tardiness and the Ultimate Warrior run-in?
Hold on. So,
steroid trial stopped it. Cold and dead.
Nothing
no kidding.
Really made sense. Nothing.
It's like the Warrior's haircut that year.
Because Savage facing Sid wouldn't have made sense. Although I liked their very brief pairing in WCW when they kind of got together and it was like, I want to see this shit happen.
Yeah.
But it's like WCW didn't have the budget to make it happen anymore or something. Yeah. But anyways, moving on to the tag team of the year. Obviously, this won't happen because of the fact that we literally just saw Kurt Angle replace Mr. Ass on Monday Night Raw. And I have to think that it would have been Kevin Nash replacing Daddy Ass if he had actually agreed to be on the show. Does anybody agree with me about that? They would have put Kevin Nash in there with DX instead of Kurt
I think so, yeah, probably.
I think so, yes, but Kurt Angle made for a hell of a plan B because it was funnier than shit.
Yeah, well, Kurt Angle is a funny guy. Remember when he used to connect with Stone Cold and Vince, even with the tiny little cowboy hat he wore? I mean, Kurt Angle knows how to bring comedy forward.
But yeah, these guys are my favorite, one of my favorite tag teams of all time. You know, I put them right there with E and C. You know, even though they weren't as good in the ring, they always made for an interesting match, whether they were given 5 minutes or whether they got 15, 16 minutes, as we saw at WrestleMania 14 in the dumpster match, I want to say.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, you know, these guys were great together, whether they were faces, whether they were heels, you know what I mean? That point when they joined the corporation. Obviously, I don't think it's going to happen just yet. Probably won't happen for another 5 years or so because, you know, Daddy Ass is enjoying some success in AEW. You know, I think these young kids, his sons, they could have some success like the New Age Outlaws achieved back in the day. The way that they are a little sloppy in the ring, but also comical. You know what I mean? They just got to get it together. You know what I mean? So they can achieve that same success. And it looks like John wants to give them a chance to.
Yeah. I think now that both Brian and Billy are actually, you know, doing that clean sober gimmick, you know, they might actually be able to last a few more years so they can get in the Hall of Fame proper.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
that is true.
I guess I'm next, right, Jay? Since you want to go last, since this is your topic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Give me 1 second here because I was going to do a quick commercial.
Okay.
Because your WrestleMania week trailer kind of threw me off there.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
So I'm going to throw to a quick commercial here before we come back and do mine and Jeff's picks.
Good shit, pal.
Let's get it.
So there we go. That's what's coming up on the Casa D18 Studios channel on Renegades Reviews. Let's get Jeff's Hall of Fame loaded up here.
As he's queuing that up, I just want to comment really quick on James is including Miss Elizabeth. I originally had her on my list when I put that status I'd have her when we first gonna get Mania here in 2020, because same city that they had their big reunion.
Oh wow!
Sports Arena in Los Angeles. So
man,
Hollywood shit. All right, so posthumous for me is Quake. I mean, Earthquake. Just before I started watching was the big angle with he and Hogan, and you talk about a fandom brought to its little tiny Hulkamaniac knees by one man and one violent act on Superstars. This guy took Hogan out for the better part of 90. Yes, he was filming the movie, but can't fan motherfuckers. End of the day. And it was such a big deal that the WWF capitalized on it by having the Hulkamaniacs write letters to Hulk to re-inspire him to come back. And it worked so well, brother, that there was a fourth amendment. There was training, say your prayers, eat vitamins, and then believe in yourself. And John Tenta, the real man, such a dedicated guy to the craft, so much so that when he joined WCW, and after the Avalanche gimmick didn't quite go over because it was pretty much the same thing as Earthquake, he became the Shark in Dungeon of Doom and believed in that gimmick so much that he tattooed over his LSU tiger with a shark, and then WCW said never mind, as Bischoff do. So, yeah, this guy was a dedicated business genius, and again, bladder cancer taken way too damn soon. So definitely a deserving inductee for me.
Jeff,
yes, the celebrity.
Jeff,
yes.
Was he known as Quake in TNA or something?
No, it's just they didn't want to try to write Earthquake across that big ass, chest and tummy of his. Maybe that's really what it came down to. Just a variant on the singlet. Again, I said this earlier, and JJ and I have talked about this every year.
Verbatim.
WrestleMania 2005 Hall of Fame and conduction class was basically WrestleMania 1 on vomit. Hogan, Piper, Orton, Orndorff, Jimmy Hart, Nikolai, and the Iron Sheik. There was no celebrity inductee. That's the only year that I remember there was no celebrity inductee. The celebrity was an inductor because Sylvester Stallone inducted Hogan. How do you have a WrestleMania 1 center class and not have Cyndi fucking Lauper? Without Cyndi Lauper, there's no, WrestleMania. And JJ, I'm sure we'll talk more about Cyndi later. I don't know what his list is, but wouldn't surprise me.
You know who all of our lists are, Meacham. You made the graphics for it. Don't lie.
I completely forgot about that till you said that right now because I've had like 3 hours sleep the last 6 days. So shut up.
That was a missed opportunity then. That you were talking about, Jeff.
It was what it was, but that's okay because I'm okay. Fine. Let me retract. I'm gonna let the producer have his say about Cyndi Lauper because I'm just that nice a guy. God damn it. Anyway,
there we go.
Oh no, I mean about them bringing Cyndi Lauper into that WrestleMania induction.
And considering I was at the Hall of Fame, that would have been fucking awesome to see Cyndi Lauper. And the same night I got to cheer that 1,500-minute long chant for Hogan.
Yeah.
Again, Sana. I was trying to say Rena and Sable, and it came out what it did. Sable took what Sunny had done the previous 2 years in becoming the most marketable woman since Miss Elizabeth, and took it to another level, and she was the prototype. She was the first WWF woman to be in Playboy, officially anyway. And Sable was a megastar. She just had that. She had the Midas touch on everything that they had her do. Sues the company, leaves. Montreal's it all. Never come back. Has a storyline where she exposes her breast, which is why she left, and became Vince's mistress, which is why she left. Everybody's a company man when it comes to dollar kids, but
everybody has a price.
Everybody has a price for the $1 billion man.
About to say.
Yes, but regardless of how we feel about Sable and her husband and Sable's 1999-2003, you can't deny the megastar she was, period. Okay, this one I'm not sure is possible because they were part of that class action suit. It is what it is. But in a perfect world, Demolition should have been in there a long time ago.
Yep.
Before there was the Usos and their 500 and whatever the hell they reign, before the New Day was the 470-something day champion, these guys set the bar high. You know, they were champions from WrestleMania 4 to, I want to say it was just before SummerSlam 89 that the Brainbusters beat them, because I remember the storyline was the Brainbusters signed to face the Hart Foundation, but they weren't champions when they signed the contract, so they didn't have to win the titles. Great Bobby Heenan shit there. Good stuff. Demolition, whether the rumor innuendo is that they were Road Warrior ripoffs so Vince could lure Hawk Animal in, you can't deny how badass these guys were. They had Derringer, who, you know, besides singing Real American, let's not forget that, you know, Derringer composed their theme. You know, it was pretty simple. Here comes the axe, here comes the smasher, the Demolition, walking disaster. But it was that dan, 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 and it was like, these guys are gonna come fuck shit up. And they did for a number of years. Later on, when they turned heel again, and Crush kind of got thrown in, and Axe was on his way out, I was like, okay, but you know, and just for the hell of it, throw Crush in there too. That way Brian gets his due too.
I never really got their gimmick. What were they supposed to be? Bikers?
Road Warrior knockoffs.
I mean, really, Road Warrior knockoffs officially, but you know, it's within WWE, they never really explained the gimmick, but there are a lot of gimmicks that didn't make no goddamn sense back then, right? Red Rooster, right? Gobbledygooker, right? Coca Beware being the Hall of Fame. I mean, never going. Batista, again, should have been there with the NWO in 2020. Scheduling was what it was. Pandemic was what it was. We're back in Hollywood. Do the damn thing. Plain and simple. I think that was it, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that wasn't your celebrity. Your celebrity was
Celebrity was Miss
Right.
Cindy. Yes, as it should be.
Yeah, which pretty much
So-
the rightful answer.
So I'm seeing a lot of great nominees. I'm seeing quite a few people that I've got on my list too. While I set up my list, you know, I know we just did a quick commercial. Here's just another little 40-second. After tonight's Watch Lana NWA, this is everything that is currently on docket through WrestleMania weekend and just slightly beyond.
Quarter.
There we go. Yes, Jeff, I see you raising your hand.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank the folks at Impact Wrestling and New Japan Pro Wrestling for not having to have JJ change the length of time on that commercial. Thanks to adding their pay-per-view to the lineup.
Yeah, you know.
We
I
think the
try to
convenience
keep,
charges.
now that we've dwindled some of the dates down, the original track that I downloaded was only about 42 seconds.
Nice.
So I've been able to keep it right about that time just by lengthening or shortening the graphics.
Good shit.
For how long they're up on the screen. So
nice.
Before we get to my picks, Safet says Demolition's one of his favorite tag teams.
Yeah, I had the unfortunate burden or the lack of benefit of coming into my fandom as they were already Smash and Crush. It was like it wasn't the same. So
And
watching
then
it back later. Good stuff.
Emmanuel pointed out that his Hall of Fame would be Owen Hart, Demolition, Miss Elizabeth, maybe Batista if Rock isn't done, and his celebrity would be Bob Barker.
Nice.
Oh, Bob Barker. That's
Bob Barker's
brilliant.
a good one.
Yes.
I
Get
think
that
all
man
of
in there
That's a
before I-
solid one. Of course, Owen Hart never really going to go in, unfortunately. But maybe now with Triple H in charge of the reins, he can work something out. He has done the impossible before.
Although, if you watch the Bret Hart documentary and Hunter talking to the Harts, I don't know about that.
That was worker Hunter. That wasn't running the show Hunter.
That's a fair point. And for every time somebody says that, I can go, yeah, well, Bruno Sammartino said the same thing. So
Yeah, can't argue that.
I mean, I would love to see Owen go in there too. For years, I had a group on Facebook saying, Owen Hart for, and I'd change the year every year, WWE Hall of Fame class.
Yep.
And, it never went anywhere. So,
never
again,
know.
some solid picks for your guys' Hall of Fames. There's only really one, I think, of mine that hasn't been said.
Yeah.
And it's my posthumous inductee, and that's how I'm going to start it. And being as how this was my idea, I had to be a little bit extra. I came up with inductors as well.
He did.
Which Jeff added to my graphics.
Nice.
So my posthumous inductee, and I know it's going to catch people off guard, but give me a second to explain. Crash Holly to be inducted by Hardcore and Molly.
Holly in Hollywood, get it?
Holly in Hollywood.
It didn't even come down to that because, believe it or not, that didn't enter my brain. But the man was born in Frisco.
Oh.
So he
California.
was born in NorCal. So it was like, and then you think about some of the shit that he did when he was 24/7 champion, his encounters with Sam Jackson as Shaft. The man.
Damn right.
Crash is such an underrated performer.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
And I think that he definitely deserves his due. And I mean, let's be real. Jeff cracks about it all the time. If fucking Coco Beware can be in there, why the fuck can't Crash Holly?
Yeah.
The skill, if nothing else. I mean, that guy, come on now.
Yeah. Let's be real. Crash drew more money than Coco Beware. I
Way
would die
more.
on that hill.
No lie. No lie.
Pile Driver album might call bullshit.
But how many people bought that album for Coco Beware?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he sang the title track, to be fair.
How many people bought a pay-per-view for Crash?
That's
How many people bought a pay-per-view for Coco?
Well, you know what? Hey, I will sign on the Crash Holly part because WrestleMania 2000, one of the better points, and that's a very liberal term of that fucking WrestleMania, was the Hardcore Battle Royal. That was good, funny as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially the fact that it was botched and Bob Holly called Michael Cole a little shit. That was my favorite.
Yeah.
I really think the best part about the Hardcore Battle Royal was the pre-match meeting there with the referees and all the talent, because that Crash just made that segment everything.
Yeah, for real. And I mean, to have Molly, who's already in the Hall of Fame, come out to induct her cousin, bring Hardcore out. I have never been a Bob Holly fan. He's a grade A dick in my book.
Yeah, for real.
But I think he'd have a great story or two to tell about his cousin Crash.
And JJ, for me personally, if they did it this year, we were Mad Mikey Lockwood, Crash Holly's final interview before he passed away.
There you go.
So for me, it'd be a little bit of a
circle of life.
For real though, because we just passed our 20th anniversary of doing this shit. So,
and now we get into the people that have already been touched upon, but I have inductors with them. So
that's right.
My celebrity is Cyndi Lauper. And my inductors would either be Becky Lynch, since she portrayed Cindy on Young Rock.
Damn right she did.
Or Hogan and Jimmy Hart. Since the rowdy one is no longer here to induct her. Since Captain Lou is no longer here to induct her.
Yep.
I figure the next most important person in the Rock and Wrestling Connection when it comes to Cindy itself is Hogan and Jimmy.
Has to be Hogan and Jimmy.
I mean, you could argue. You can argue they're the most important people in the Rock and Wrestling Connection to begin with, but not when it came to Cindy.
Right.
No, Cindy made the Rock and Wrestling Connection financially booming.
And like
know?
Jeff said, me and him have talked about ad nauseum on our shows in the past. How do you do a WrestleMania 1 class and not have Cyndi Lauper?
You don't.
And you think about some of the celebrities. How is Drew Carey in the fucking celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame, and Cyndi Lauper is not?
Bullshit. Yeah, I agree. This is what I always go. This is why the Hall of Fame is so poorly managed.
Yep.
And why a lot of people don't take it seriously. I think that's going to change now with Hunter in charge, but the reason why it's just been laughed at is because you have stuff like that, and the people that go in before, people that were well-deserved way before.
Well, absolutely. And the bottom line is there would be no fucking WrestleMania if it wasn't for Cyndi Lauper.
Think about it.
She was crucial for the Brawl to Send It All and the War to Settle the Score.
Yep.
Oh,
which
you know
then
what?
led to the initial WrestleMania.
Not even though his speech was fucking awful. Like, she should have gone in the class, if nothing else, the one that Mr. T went into.
Well, so first of all, JJ, I really appreciate you putting Hogan in there, because that way I can get a Hogan entrance at WrestleMania weekend, which would be fucking amazing, by the way. Thank you for that. Appreciate you. But Mr. T went in. Matter of fact, he's still being inducted right now. He's still on stage talking along with Hillbilly Jim.
Let's be real. The Rock is still inducting his father and his grandfather.
Yeah, that's if he's done with his mama.
Muscle memory. Ow. Spasm. Ow. It hurts. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. I can feel my ass melting in the Amway chair. Ow. Ow.
Yo,
Anyway,
Mr. T's new theme should have just been "Somebody Call My Mama," because seriously, you should have just taken Brodus Clay's old theme.
But I mean, getting back to the topic at hand, Cyndi
love of
Lauper,
God, please.
Why wouldn't
moving on from her,
Hogan, JJ?
Huh?
Why not Mr. T and Hogan to induct her instead of Jimmy?
Honestly, I wouldn't be mad at that. Actually, if it was all three of them.
Why do you all want me to be at the Crypto.com arena for the rest of my goddamn life? Why would you wish that on me?
Mr. T is a polarizing individual.
Yeah.
And I have never been a huge fan of his.
Yeah.
And let's be real. Whenever Hogan goes anywhere, there are two people swinging from his nutsack.
Oh, goddamn it.
Jimmy Hart and Brutus Beefcake.
Yeah.
And we don't need Beefcake there.
No.
What about Eric
Jimmy
Bismarck?
at least has the music history because of the Gentrys and his song Keep On Dancing, which did in fact knock the Beatles out of the #1 slot.
For a week. They did.
So there's the music connection right there for Jimmy and Cyndi.
Although I do like Brutus Beefcake's theme, not gonna lie.
Okay, if Mr. T, if they feel that Mr. T has to be involved, I have a perfect solution so everybody wins, right?
Oh no.
Okay.
Instead of Mr. T, you have Rampage Jackson play as Mr.
There we go. That works.
That definitely goes. I'll co-sign for that one because I love Rampage.
Anything to keep Bruce the fucking bar Beefcake away from WrestleMania.
For my tag teamer stable, I've got the Hollywood Blondes.
But
who the
to
hell's
be
that?
inducted by either Ricky the Dragon Steamboat or Raven.
Raven.
Now, Raven may seem as an odd choice, but when I was doing my homework about the Blondes, Raven is the one who, along with Steve and Brian, came up with the shtick for the Blondes.
Oh.
So his creative brain, and I've always said Raven is one of the most creative minds in the world of wrestling. I would love to just see a promo battle between Raven and Jake the Snake Roberts.
Well, Raven, nevermore.
There can be
ECW
no
Raven.
match. I don't give a shit. No match needed. Just let me see the promo build up between these two.
That'd be
Jake
so
with
dark.
his never raising a voice and his intelligent speak, and Raven can get a little bit more fired up, but he's always had that brainy talk himself. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Yeah.
It would just be so epic to hear these two go back and forth on a mic. But the
Thanks,
Hollywood
Raven.
Blondes, Flying Brian, like has been said, I think he should have already been in. I think the whole tragedy surrounding his death is why he hasn't gone in.
Right.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is the loophole around it. You induct the blondes, and then you can have Austin and Pillman Jr. come on stage to accept the award.
Now, would Austin be wearing a blonde wig like that, like a blonde comb over?
Yes, he
Why
must.
not? Just for shits and giggles. We know Austin has the sense of humor. What?
Yeah, absolutely.
We know he's got it.
Yeah.
Dig
JJ,
out the vest for one night.
Yes.
And come out on stage wearing that vest.
Question for you, JJ.
Yes.
If any time was appropriate, I don't think he'll ever get his own induction unless my theory I'm going to put forward here goes even further. Is this the time you reach out along with Ricky and have Shane Douglas induct the blondes with Ricky?
Oh yeah, true.
That would be a nice touch. And it would begin to mend the fences for what I would hope would be his eventual induction at 40 in Philly.
I'm saying they're going to Philly. They can't have, if they're going to have ECW people, because Paul fucking going in they can't have the franchise of ECW not be part of that in some way.
I agree.
I feel that unfortunately, as much as I agree with you guys, I feel like Shane Douglas, let's be real, is too stubborn for his own good. Like, even if Triple H were to freaking reach out, I feel like he would.
You know what, though? As much as Shane shits on the Click for his departure, again, I haven't talked to Shane in so many years now, but I really think that Shane has enough of a perception of the business to see that Sean Hickenbottom and Paul Levesque, unless they've got those green and black shirts on, aren't those degenerate dumb fucks anymore.
Right.
They're really not. And, Kevin's got his own shit going on, unfortunately. Scott's gone, and Sean Waltman. When Sean Waltman's most level-headed of the bunch, we got a problem. That's a whole other story because I love Sean. I think the Click has grown up enough that I think Shane, especially if it's about
he might
with Ricky, and again, like you said, JJ, the fact that we're on the road to Philly after WrestleMania weekend this year, if they're going to have ECW stuff involved, you've got to have as many ECW quote-unquote icons as you possibly can. They're not going to call Sandman because Sandman's going to take 40 takes to get the damn promo off.
Yep.
As we have live proof of. Rob's already in. I don't think they're going to give
an inductee.
What's that?
Raven could be an inductee.
Raven could be an inductee. There's a lot of people there that if just to say, hey, we're inducting the blondes, we've already got Ricky, we think you guys who were the blondes' most prolific opponents should be there.
Is Terry Funk in the Hall of Fame?
Yes, Terry and Dory went in together in Houston when Austin was the headliner.
Okay. Honestly, based on what happens at this year's WrestleMania, and I know it's also in Philly, I mean, if he is not advocating or, special counseling or managing, I feel the headliner next year should be Paul Heyman.
Agree.
Oh, yeah, 100% agree.
100%.
Without question.
All right. Unfortunately, Mikey T had to bow out. He was getting too late, too tired. It's all good. We've only got a couple more names in my list, and then it'll be time to pretty much wrap up and kind of go home anyways. My female, already been discussed, but Sable to be inducted by her husband, Brock.
Brock Lesnar giving a full speech. Oh my God!
Because let's be 100% honest here. If anybody is going to be able to articulate and convey the love required for that woman, it's going to be her husband.
Bar none.
The only other person I could even fathom doing it, and I don't think it would happen, would be Marvelous Mark.
No.
That's why I went with Brock.
Yeah. Brock's the most logical choice.
Mero is blackballed, I think, from the entire wrestling industry, and I think he's okay.
No. You know what though, James? I disagree with that. And this is a whole other. I'm not gonna go too far down the tangent, but yes, what happened in 07 when Mark did the interviews after the Benoit tragedy, poor timing. But Mark has definitely shown that people make poor choices and they can go back and make it right. He is a powerful motivational speaker, and other than people that were way involved in back in 07, and I was part of that, coming down on him, and I admit I was wrong for that. Now
your
looking
first
back,
show was about that, so
oh God, yeah, God, Merrill caught a lot of my heat, and that was not exactly fair because I wasn't 100% informed on facts, and that's what we're all about now. That's my bad. But you talk to people like Dallas Page, you talk to people in that, Dallas, Mr. Frickin' Positively Page. Mark's definitely turned his shit around, but right now, current WWE, the way that Brock has shown that he can carry a promo on his own, no more Paulie. And like you said, JJ, who's going to talk about their current spouse as much as we all know Brock loves everybody but Bobby Lashley, like Sable, hey, let Cowboy Brock put on a suit and tie for a night and do some husband shit instead of cowboy shit.
Yeah, talk about Bobby who while he's in the bed with his wife.
You never know.
I picked that image that I used of him that I had Jeff use because it's him in a suit at a podium speaking.
But you never know. Maybe cowboy shit is their business attire now. You never know, man.
Yeah, that's fair.
Going to the comments here, Emmanuel says he'd like to see Taker do his show in LA. Not sure if it's happening. I would almost be willing to bet money it will be. It'll just be announced a little bit closer to the show.
Because it's going to sell it immediately.
I'm sorry. Put that back up one more time. I missed. I had a Taker's gonna be there at the Novo, Jay, across the street.
Okay, like I said,
I already told Dad. Dad's like, we'll make it happen.
Emmanuel also says Wendy Richter. What about her? I believe she's already in though.
Class of 2010, inducted by Roddy.
Yeah. Safet said he'd add Andy Kaufman to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
You want to go back to the celebrity arena, and I know this dude is a favorite of yours, Jeff, but how the fuck is Pete Rose the first celebrity inductee and not arguably the original celebrity wrestler?
Yes.
So,
Kaufman.
Especially since they were in New York,
yes,
which was like Andy's home base.
Right.
Come on.
I
think they'd save Andy until we go back to New York, though, Safet. That would be my call.
WrestleMania 45.
Or whenever, because obviously this year it's LA, next year it's Philly. Soonest it could be would be 41.
So I'm not going to argue with the basic logic of, of course it's Andy Kaufman. Two things. One, there was still a lot of, not heat, but legal stuff between the estate and Milos and Jerry and that for the movie and distribution, all that nonsense. But number two, Pete was fresh on the minds of the sports world because I think he had retried to get the ban lifted, and it was like a big story at the time. Plus, he had just come off another commercial for them doing. I think it was a No Mercy commercial not too long before that. So Pete was fresh in the minds of WWE folks, and he was fresh on the media's lips. That's why he got it the first year. Again, not going to argue with Andy being the first because it should have been, but that's why Pete got it.
And apparently, Emmanuel meant Wendy as an inductor for Cindy.
Oh,
that's fair, but. I like the people that I picked personally.
Yeah, I like Wendy, and it took a lot for her to come back and do that because it was very hard feelings after the whole thing with Moolah and the Spider Lady thing. But I really think that it would it has to be either Hulk and Jimmy for me is the top choice. But Becky, having played her on Young Rock, and Becky's such a hot hand right now, she should be there too.
Yeah. And that brings me to the main eventer. Should be no surprise.
Yeah. The
Rock to be inducted by either Kevin Hart or Mick Foley.
No, I gotta tell you right now, you gotta have it be both. Dude, the comedy routine with these three alone for the Hall of Fame would be out of this world hilarious, bro.
That's fair. My main concern is Mick Foley and his status with WWE changes like I haven't seen in years.
Oscillating curve, I'm going to put in scientific terms because I definitely understand what you mean.
You know, it's like I could be reading the internet for what it's worth at 12 o'clock and Mick Foley is praising WWE, and at 12:05 he's shitting on them.
Well, I mean,
and like
Foley,
it's a pendulum swing with Mick Foley.
Well, to be fair, Foley is just sometimes, whether it's for good or for worse, just brutally honest.
And I get that, but that doesn't mean that the WWE brass has to like that. And if they don't like that, they're not going to bring him in to induct The Rock, regardless of Dwayne's requests. So that's why I put Kevin Hart as a backup, because you think about the history that Dwayne and Kevin have in Hollywood now, and they are an unbeatable comedy duo.
Yeah.
You know, like they're getting to like Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy levels as far as their tandem and the box office they draw when they're together. And I mean, if Hulk Hogan can have Sylvester Stallone, The Rock can have Kevin Hart. Might have to print out a few phone books for him to stand on to reach the microphone. But no, I'm not.
No, you're not, but it's okay.
But I mean, and Ava Raine, Simone Johnson to do it. I like Ava, but she's not conditioned enough on the microphone yet.
Absolutely not yet.
It would be hell to watch her try to induct her dad.
I think so.
You know, it's like it was one thing for Rocky to induct his father and his grandfather, because Rock is arguably one of the greatest promos that a WWE has ever seen.
Yep.
Watching Ava Raine on the mic, I would rather watch paint dry.
Yeah, and it's one of those, if we let Ava, as unconditioned as she is, to have a live mic to induct her father, we're going to be sitting here for another 16 years after The Rock finishes inducting his family. We're going to have Ava sitting there another 16 years inducting her father.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to be at the Hall of Fame forever.
If Rocky was going in 3 to 5 years, maybe she'd be good enough by then to do it.
Yeah.
But my feelings on Batista are well known. But this isn't even personal when it comes to him.
No, of course
if
not.
You're going to do a Hollywood Hall of Fame class, you have to have The Rock.
Yep.
Yeah.
Batista would not be where he is in Hollywood if Rocky hadn't shattered that door.
Yep.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
As much as Jesse Ventura and Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper all opened the door,
Rock shouted.
Rocky said, "Hold my Terramana, hold my Zoa," and kicked that shit off the hinges.
He did.
Then he picked the door up, broke it over his knee, and chucked the pieces off.
Hold my Versace, fam. I'm gonna bust this shit wide open.
Yep. Turn it sideways and stick
to
it
think,
straight up the candy ass.
And to think there was a time in Rocky's film history where he could have gone the way of Roddy Piper after Doom and just done all kinds of shitastic films. Because I love me some Roddy, but some of his films are hard watches.
Coming from you, the renegade with the reviews.
They are hard watches. I'll still do it because Roddy is entertaining as shit. But you want to look at the story and everything in it. Oh my God, most of them aren't worth the celluloid they're printed on.
There you go.
The celluloid, what a term there.
But I'm just being real, you know.
Yeah.
And like I say, you look at like the Tooth Fairy. You look at Doom, you look at Southland Tales, you look at some of his cringeworthy movies, and he could have gone that direction, but he was able to right the ship, and arguably he's the biggest box office draw out of any single star in Hollywood right now.
Eat your heart out,
Now-
Adam Sandler.
Now, you get the MCU together to do an Avengers film, and you've got Downey and Evans and Ruffalo and ScarJo and Hemsworth and all that. Yeah, of course that's going to outdraw The Rock. But you put, Chris Evans in some non-Marvel movie against Dwayne in something, more than likely Rocky is going to outdraw Chris Evans.
Yeah. Yeah, truth.
It's been proven, JJ. You've got Rock, who can be in pretty much any genre. You made a good point. You take any one of the MCU big names, or any franchise. Paramount took a chance and relaunched Star Trek with a brand new cast of people playing the same basic characters. Did banger box office. Thank you, James, for the word. But then you take Chris Pine, and the only things he's really been successful in since Star Trek has been being part of a different franchise, the DCEU with Wonder Woman. Chris Pine on his own, it's not going to beat Dwayne Johnson. Zachary Quinto, who you and I both adore, previously to Star Trek, not going to do well on his own. You have to have a major name to battle the name of Dwayne Johnson. And the fact that you and I can easily say, you just did it yourself. He could easily have Mick Foley, because Mick Foley's still involved with the company right now. They're doing that A&E project that we're not supposed to talk about. If you want to listen to Foley's pod about China, I'm not supposed to talk about it. But then you have Kevin Hart can do the exact same thing because they're such goobers together.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
I mean, it's just facts. I mean, you look at some of Robert Downey Jr.'s movies. Since putting on the Iron Man suit when he hasn't been Iron Man.
Yeah.
Anyone remember Doolittle?
No, because Eddie's was so much better.
Even his Sherlock Holmes movies.
Yeah, those
didn't do Dwayne numbers.
Yeah,
they
and
were
that was
decent, but they didn't do Dwayne numbers.
And that was him and Jude Law together, and it still didn't hit Dwayne numbers. That's crazy.
I mean, you don't do Hollywood and not do Rocky.
Yeah. Again, I said it when I brought up Dave. The only reason I think they want to do Dave this year is because they had him penciled in with the NWO when it was supposed to be here, and then pandemic hit. And his schedule just was hot garbage to get over back to the PC, and he didn't want to risk getting COVID, which I get. Again,
I mean, I say you save Dave for not next year, obviously, in Philly, but if they go back to the DC general vicinity.
Okay.
And then do Dave there, since he's from DC.
Yeah. I mean, true, but
I mean, I'm sure there's something in that area that they can use for a stadium.
Well, I figure Baltimore's got the baseball stadium, and they've got the team used to be called the Redskins. What the hell is Washington's football team name now? Commanders. Jesus. They've got their stadium there. But also with Dave here, where was his first world championship win, Jay? You were there, man.
I know. I try to forget it, but I was there.
Hollywood just ties in with Dave besides the acting.
Okay.
I don't like it either.
He literally called himself Hollywood Rock. I mean,
no. I think we all call him Hollywood Rock. I don't know if he did it himself. I missed that, but again, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you whatsoever. The Rock, if The Rock's going to be involved at all, he should headline the class. I don't dispute that for a moment.
Yeah. And as far as inducting him before he's officially retired, isn't he though?
Nope.
I mean, he doesn't have to have another match. So he didn't go out there and officially say, I'm done, guys. I'm retired. When was his last match? Exactly.
WrestleMania Dallas against Eric Rowan.
Okay, and that was what WrestleMania?
7 years
32.
ago. 7 years ago.
Okay, so he hasn't had a match in 7 years.
Right.
When he came back that night, Valentine's Day 2011, it had been 7 years.
Right. I know. Like I said,
he doesn't have to have another match. He's quietly retired.
No.
As much as we want the match with Roman, if we're not going to get it this year, which it seems like we won't,
right?
Try again next time. If we don't have it this year, the momentum is lost. There's no point in doing it. Period. Because either Sammy's going to dethrone him in Montreal, or Cody's going to dethrone him at Mania, or they're each going to take a title and split the belts up, and then there's no point as to who's the true head of the table. Because Roman has already fallen. The Roman Empire will have crumbled by then. There is 0 point at that point.
Bloodline ends in 2023 by WrestleMania. So said by the Renegade J.J. Williams.
Again, I am not arguing Rock's involvement if he's there. But like I said, I think it was after the Rumble. I think we all got ourselves kind of worked up into this. It has to be.
I agree.
And then now that it's not, it's okay to justify, okay, well, Sammy may do it, Cody may do it. There's options, which we weren't allowing ourselves to have even a month and a half ago, which is wonderful. I still say Rock can be involved as far as Hall of Fame. I even dare say that Rock can be involved in the finish, much like he was in 2011. I'm not saying build he and Roman for a year because goddamn, I don't even know one of those storylines. But The Rock can still be involved in the finish if it's done right. They don't have to start building in Montreal and get to Hollywood. They don't even have to, do really anything. If they announce he's going to go in the Hall of Fame, the fans will let the electricity buzz its goddamn self. So, but yeah, I personally believe that Rock will headline whatever class he's part of. And with all due respect to how some of us feel about Dave Bautista, the actor, and his filmography beyond the MCU, or feel about Batista, the multi-time world champion, it would be unfair to Dave if they're going to induct him, which I feel they should. It would be a disservice to Batista if they had him and Rock go in the same year, because Batista was promised a headline spot. And if you put him in with Rock, he's curtain jerking at best.
As he should be, but that's just me.
Oh, Jesus.
You're not gonna win. He's gonna go on this forever.
There's no win. No. It's not a fight or a bicker, James. It's just my personal feeling, and I do agree. David Bautista deserves to headline whatever year he goes in.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Just not this year.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
If they insist on doing him this year, then he needs to jerk the curtain. It would be a double headline Hall of Fame. Batista opening the show because his was promised 3 years ago. Rocky closing the show because he's the headliner for this year. That makes sense.
Yes, it does make sense. I just don't. It'd be a very polarizing decision, I think, for the people that love Batista, the people that feel that he should be closing the show, and then the people like you and me. It's like, throw him in there. Fuck it. Just let Rock be last.
Yeah, either way. I mean, we'll see what happens. I hope we get a good class that we can actually look at it this year and be like, yeah, that's good.
My whole thing is this. WWE booked themselves into a no-win scenario here. We're talking about Star Trek earlier. They've got Supercard of Honor leading into and almost starting the same time as SmackDown. So their fans are going to make a choice. Hall of Fame is after SmackDown that night, but so is The Undertaker's One Dead Man show. I don't know what time that's starting across the street. If they have it go like a typical, Hollywood late night club thing, and they go after Hall of Fame, which they're going to need Undertaker to have a couple Ovaltines and a cookie before he starts, he's going to be dog ass tired by then great. Because I can walk across the street after Hall of Fame and go watch Undertaker do his show. I'll be up all night. I'm up all night anyway. I don't give a shit. I already had the weekend off. But why? And here's my other thing. It just came to my head right now, JJ, and I think you'll agree. Is their potential Hall of Fame phone calls so weak that's why they're making sure it's booked together with SmackDown to sell the tickets, and then go, okay, well, this is probably going to be kind of shitty, so let's throw Undertaker out there across the street just in case.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm talking about before, the perception of the Hall of Fame.
Because like you said, there's no inductees announced, whereas of right now, 7 weeks out. Very rare for that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think we'll get our first inductee the Raw after Chamber.
Yeah, the manual just asked about.
And again, if it comes to a choice, well, number one, I'm not paying for it, so it's not my choice. If it comes to a choice for my father between Hall of Fame at Crypto.com Arena Undertaker show, there is no choice.
Yeah, I know your dad.
No, and if
he'll sit there at the One Dead Man show like this the whole time,
as he should, because
Dallas Boy's on top.
That's
but
his.
Still,
that's
the Frank Meacham pose.
That's his LA Live pose, wherever he's at, either a Pee Wee Herman show at Novo or the Kings game. That's how we do.
Yeah.
I don't know how the game went tonight. I'm hoping they won for us because damn it, I wasn't there, and our great captain retired tonight. Yeah, there's just no, and there's, like you said, I put that trailer up. I didn't even include the Dead Man show because we're not going to be doing a watch along of that because they probably won't let us do that.
Accurate.
I'm guessing. There's a lot of shit going on, and these companies are all making us WWE fans make very hard decisions.
Yes.
It's the nature of the beast, though, and it has been for a while with WrestleMania.
Oh, absolutely.
And now it's even worse.
For at least the last decade, probably realistically the last 15 years or so.
Oh, yeah.
Other companies have taken advantage of WrestleMania weekend and tried to run shows in the same general vicinity because they know they're going to get all those people flying in and converging on insert town here for WrestleMania back when it was a one-day thing. And you could do a Friday night show, a Saturday night show, WrestleMania Sunday, spread the love out. Now WrestleMania is a 2-night show, and it becomes harder. And now you got things competing with SmackDown. Now you got things competing with night 1. You got things competing with night 2. You've got things having to run on Thursday nights just because the real estate is already so packed. Granted, it's the night that Impact and New Japan run their shows anyways on Access.
Right.
So it makes sense to do their show on Thursday night. They just forego an Impact that night. But I mean, it's just nuts to think about it. And then when I saw that announcement the other night, first thing I thought was, not does Noah want to call this, because I knew he would. But with it being a paid event on Fight TV, would Noah have the finances to be able to do it? And as soon as I got the confirmation from him, I sent you the image, Jeff.
You did.
Because I wanted to add that to the watch along trailer that I aired after the show.
Which we appreciate.
So I gotta say, let's freaking go.
Well, the thing now is, I put this out there on social media. I haven't been on live because I've been driving from here to Arizona every goddamn point between the last 4 days.
Did you stand on the corner in Winslow, Arizona?
I didn't get a chance, but I'll talk about Arizona here in just a second here. But
I heard it's such a fine sight to see.
It would have been next time for sure. Definitely. And there were a couple of Goes My Lord, and there were a whole lot of cars besides black Fords, and I was slowing down to take a look at all of them. Anyway,
There you go.
it's your whole damn song at this point, but let's just take
That's
it easy
right.
and keep on going.
Gotta get the shtick in.
Gotta get the shtick in. Go Eagles.
Hashtag stick to my shtick.
Go
There you
Eagles,
go.
just not tomorrow. God damn it. Go Chiefs. Anyway,
Yeah, there you go.
fuck.
I'm indifferent.
I know you are, and we love you for that. I want to say that I know if things all that hash out, it'll be my first Impact show in almost 20 years. My first New Japan show live ever. My first Ring of Honor show live ever. If I can coordinate the expo line properly, Jay, you know this better than anybody how close they are. Be my first Hall of Fame since before Dylan was born.
And your third total, right?
Third total. Yes. 05, 08, and now. Thank you. I forgot about the 08. I forgot the 08 was a thing because I'm still at that speech because Rocky's still talking and I haven't slept yet.
And as soon as Rocky starts talking, all the fans start wooing.
Because they want Flair to come out because we have to go to Mania in the morning. We tired, dog. It's sleep. Anyway, it'll be my first NXT live show since War Games in 18, I think it was. Third NXT show, period. First WrestleMania in LA area proper, which I've been dying about. Oh my God. JJ, you know this. Everybody was at Mania 21. I said I'd be here. I would be there next time. First Raw after Mania period, which would be awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that could very easily lay out on that table. Hopefully not the one where Roman's the head at, and I'm gonna be in trouble. But
yeah,
I want to see it all.
Absolutely.
As far as Arizona.
If I had the finances, I would love to just do a fraction of it.
I know, man. I know.
And Emmanuel thinks we need to pay Noah to call the Super Bowl tomorrow.
I don't. Okay. So
he's not a wrestling guy.
Well, no,
he's a wrestling guy.
So there was discussion amongst the Casa crew to have the Stat Boy Sports Bar watch along.
Mikey's got to work though.
Mikey's got to work. I was supposed to work. I'm now working up here. Put it that way. And Noah's just not football knowledgeable, and I am not a play-by-play person, especially on other sports, let alone wrestling. Forget it. So
yeah, again, me and you's coverage of Raw's 30 was abysmal at best.
Compared to these two, absolutely, without a doubt.
I think I'd rather watch Guillermo del Toro's Wolfman again than have to rewatch our commentary again.
And that's a statement from you. Let me just say this before we go. If we're going to another commercial, we're going to plugs at this point.
I do have one more commercial, the Stable Wars one from James to do before we get into our official plug. So go ahead and do your story real quick.
So I've not been very kind or very quiet about my feelings about the Bella family en masse.
Yes.
I need to apologize for the record.
I'd give you a solo shot, but you're not on camera, so
no, and that's quite all right. Brie and Nicole could not have been nicer. Again, Nicole, a little bristly, but there's reasons for that, and I'm not going to discourage those. But Brie remembers us. Yes, it's a large part because of our friendship with Brian, I'm sure. But Brie went out of her way. We had a great moment. We got a hug, and she looked at me. She goes, "You look good. What have you been doing?" And I said, "Walking and working at Disney." She goes, "Yeah, that sounds right for you." So she commented that she's noticed the change in appearance since October, and she didn't have to do that. No reason to do that. Kathy, I forget her last name will not be spoken by me on the air because she's married to who she's married to, but the Bella's mom. Great acknowledgement. Their brother, sweet as hell, met Artem, Nikki's husband. Great guy. I've been a fan of Dancing with the Stars for years, so it's cool to see him. Of course, Bree's husband wasn't there. Bree's husband was a little busy Wednesday night, having a massive fucking week as usual, as Brian do. But I did make sure to pass on that we love him and we miss him. And she looked at me. She goes, "He misses you guys too. Don't worry about that." Because we love him in SoCal. There was a moment where I considered making peace with the Bella's stepfather and was shot down from across the room with his death glare. So it is what it is. But to Nicole and to Bree and to, God help me, the Eagles cheerleaders and their mascot, to everybody, thank you for an amazing experience. And to our girl Kalea, love you. We owe you one big time, because there may be a distinct possibility of a little twin magic on the Jeff Meacham Network before the end of the year.
Ooh. Okay.
Just saying.
That would be awesome.
It would.
All right. So before we go into our plugs and our wrap-ups, I do have James's Stable Wars promo that he asked me to run.
Which, real quick, for those who want to check that out, tomorrow it will be happening at 6 o'clock p.m. I know the Super Bowl is there, but if you're not interested in the Super Bowl, this is what you have to look forward to if you want to watch some form of game.
The stage of battle is set.
Here we go again!
Simple! Ryu Hoshi, Mega Man X, Stolen Snake, Zero Suit Samus. The Shadow Warrior Squad, Black Knight, Cloud Strike, Joker, Dark Pit, Ganondorf. Back in Black.
Here we go again!
Waluigi, Silver, Isabel, Sans, Pac-Man. The Dream Blood Rotation. Terry Bogard, Lucario, Mewtwo, Zeraora, Blaziken. The King of Pokemon. Stable Wars.
Now I'm gonna fill up my lungs with some butane. Turn the mic into a flame. Damn, that shit's hot. Super heavy, built like a Chevy. And I ain't really mad at the hey. My significant chocolate, $3 bills from the cockpit. Oh my god! Round 2, you ready for a break? You keep on talking, I'ma break you off something like this. Full throttle, better be prepared. Coming with the kick and the snare. And a downright dirty, ruthless movement. Watch it have to ruin all the music.
So there we go. That is what you have to look forward to on Stable Wars tomorrow. That's 6 o'clock Eastern, James?
Yes, Eastern time. Yes.
Just want to make it clear. Jeff will sigh and roll his eyes even though he's not on camera, because they're got to make sure we keep it clear for the East Coast and the West Coast.
Absolutely.
So 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific on YouTube. That is what you can check out.
There you go.
There you go, Jeff. What do you think of the Limp Bizkit song being royalty free? Yay!
That's not gonna lie. That's good shit, pal.
That's good shit, pal. Yeah, it's good.
Man. Oh, real quick, Jeff, before we get into the plugs. To everybody at Disneyland yesterday, you all are the troopers of the world, because that place was knuckin' fun yesterday. So God bless everybody.
Isn't that place knuckin' futz for
no,
real?
but like it was so slow for holiday. From like Halloween, even before Halloween on, it was mild. These last 2 weeks of the anniversary of the company really kicking into high gear, there has not been a slow point. I've talked to my fellow cast members since I've been only working weekends now, apparently. It's been nonstop bad shit. And I can't thank our security people enough, because my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. So I want to throw it out there really quick before we got into the plugs, because it was so bonkers yesterday. And like every one of us that was there, there's not a part of us that doesn't hurt or sore. So we got to thank our Disney people for taking care of all of us.
There we go. So really quickly, before I throw to James, let me go ahead and get the plugs out there for some of the people that weren't here this evening.
Yes.
Cleveland combatant Josh Mansfield was under the weather. You can find him on Twitter at CatholicJosh122, on Instagram at MallowMangram. Likewise, Big G was unable to join us tonight. You can find him on TikTok at BigBallerG1988, on Twitter at NoDQ.com/BigBallerG, and on Instagram, NoDQ_BigBallerG1988.
There you go.
James, aside from the stuff that they've seen this evening in the trailers, what have you got to plug? Where can people find you?
Well, we got a couple chamber retros in the can right now, working out as we speak. Looks like it's going to be dropping some point this week. We're going to be recording them on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we got an elimination chamber, both New Year's resolutions. Basically, we're going to be doing those pay-per-views. So go
nice.
check those out. And that will be on Owen's channel, youtube.com/user/WrestlingFortune44. Mistress Audio just released a audio of her own on her YouTube channel. I got done listening to half of it before I had to come on and call. Enough said. So you could, before I butcher the title, I'm just going to look it up real quick. You could check out Mistress Audio presents "Struggling in the Snow," a dramatic reading. That is on her YouTube channel right now. Be warned, it's a rough one. It's a sad story, but it's a very good story. My team did very good on that one, and yeah, you could check out Stable Wars and AEW Spark, where Noah and I are going to be covering the entire week of AEW. So go check that out.
All right.
Also, Wrestling Fortune 44.
Jeff.
Okay, hang on a second. Working something behind the couch, trying to get my charger plug out. Again, a lot of cool stuff coming up as we roll along that path to WrestleMania. We're going to be covering the Chamber next Saturday. It'll be Noah and JJ on the call, as my WWE team do. I love you folks. Open mic night next Saturday. What's that?
But I'm so looking forward to that.
It's going to be interesting for us to freaking go.
So, because of the situation that has arisen up here, I've now got the week off. But Saturday night, my plans that were set and then were unset are now reset again. For those of you that are interested in the relaunch, if you will, of XPW, out in Pomona, California on Saturday at the Derby Room, we're going to have XPW presents, Lord, I apologize, Pleasures of the Flesh. Lots of different wrestling matches involved, titles involved. There's also a Miss Extreme contest. And apparently there's been several people added to the list of the adult film persuasion. But our buddy Lizzie Valentine is also going to be part of that contest. And we're going to be going to support Lizzie. She's having a meet and greet, I guess, down there this Saturday, or next Saturday, rather. So we'll be going in. I will be going to support Lizzie. And one way or the other, we will have Jeff Meacham going one-on-one with Lizzie Valentine, because as I discovered over the course of this week, she is my longest standing friend I've made in wrestling that was already involved in wrestling when I got into it 20 years ago. So we met on my birthday week in 2003.
Nice.
That was 20 years ago this at the end of this month, because it was the XPW My Bloody Valentine tour. It was the last day of February and the first day of March, my birthday. That was our last LA shows before the feds decided that Rob and Lizzie were just being a little bit too naughty for their own good. But, Rob's back in charge now. Rob Black is running XPW again, so it's bound to be a hot time in the old town in Pomona on Saturday, and I'll leave it at that. You guys can check out I think it's thexpwrestling.com. If not, they're on Instagram at XPW Wrestling. So check them out if you dare.
There you go.
And I mean if you dare.
If you dare.
You dare.
Yeah.
Apparently, Safed wants us to know that he'll be watching Chamber and Battle in the Valley next week. I believe they're going to be running at the exact same time.
Yes.
So I'm going to be curious to see how you pull that one off, Safet.
And considering that Battle in the Valley is going to, overlap 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start time Saturday night with Elimination Chamber. Yeah.
Well, there was I forget which shows it was, so forgive me, but AEW ran the same time as the WWE show that 1 week. I forget because I remember it distinctly because at old Studio 1A of the Jeff Meacham Network, I had my tablet running AEW and my TV running NXT. And it worked out. Again, we weren't calling both of them because I wasn't that insane yet. Obviously, I'm now. If we were able to call both, I would have us do it. But I will say this, Seth, that make sure when you watch the WWE broadcast, you turn down the audio so you can hear Noah and JJ call it, and listen to that brilliant New Japan broadcast over on the other side for Battle Valley, because that's how you should watch these shows.
There you go.
With a task.
For me, I don't have images for all of my stuff because I was so busy editing other stuff today. I've been trying to get something that me and Jeff were discussing kind of off camera, trying to get the balls rolling on that one, trying to present the Casa channel kind of like a WWE 24/7. So I've been trying to re-edit some of the old footage to make it more widescreen, YouTube friendly,
right?
And throw some intro videos on them and upload them. Still need to wait to officially upload them until I know when they're going to air and can add the respective trailers and everything. But
of course,
something that's going to be coming here on the channel in the near future. Not sure if it's going to be a Monday through Friday thing or if we're going to just do like I have no content usually go up on Thursdays, maybe just make a Throwback Thursday with a bunch of those videos dropping each week. Still working out the ins and outs, the intricacies, but something to look forward to. James made a bunch of great videos to kind of introduce everything. It's going to be content from the Jeff Meacham Network, content from NoDQ.com, content from my old channel, content from you gentlemen, just whatever I can get my hands on, all has been approved. So for all you haters out there, don't go running to Aaron Rift talking about how I'm stealing his videos and putting them on my channel. I have expressed written consent from the boss man of NoDQ that I have the rights to use these videos. So just go ahead and try and nip that in the bud right now.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. The only thing we have been told no is Aaron's solo recap videos or Aaron's videos like of that nature, period, and the NoDQ review.
I was told yes to those, but okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought the discussion went the other way, but cool. Hey, no. if you got them, fuck it.
So yeah. So I don't have a whole lot of images to show. Today I had Shotgun Wedding was my new release Saturday. Went live as we were doing the pre-show for Enough Said. So go back, check that one out. Tomorrow, of course, will be the Warzone, the weekly acquisition report, like always. Not a huge one this week. Got about 7 movies that I found at a yard sale yesterday that I'll be showing off.
Nice.
Then beginning next week will be the end of the chick flicks, the rom-coms on my channel. Monday, I've got Dirty Dancing. I am doing a special Tuesday review. On Valentine's Day, I am reviewing the film Valentine's Day.
Oh, nice.
It just kind of wrote itself, the storyline there. So it was like, how do you not do a movie called Valentine's Day on Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Then beginning Wednesday, we kick over to Black History Month. I have Harriet, the story of Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad, coming on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, Friday, I have the Tuskegee Airmen.
Oh, wow.
And then as long as I can get to the theater this Wednesday to see it, my new release Saturday will be Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Yeah. Winnie the Pooh is in the public domain now, and there is a horror movie
I forgot
based
about that.
on the Pooh characters.
I'm not sure. Did we listen to me? Did Disney ever fully own that, or has always been like a
I
mutual
think they
agreement between
licensed the rights.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah. So
As far as you know, the only ones we own for sure are, of course, the Sensational Six, Chip and Dale, but everything else I think has been licensed from the authors, the states, whatever. So
then, of course, Tuesdays, Stat Boy Sports Bar featuring Dory Lou. The food is hot, the beer is ice cold, and the seats are warm. So pull up a bar stool and engage in some sports talk with your barkeeps, Stat Boy Mike Caldwell and Dory Lou. That is where you can follow them on Twitter at Hathaway Lou and at LBStatKid1977.
we'll be
Then, of
covering the
course,
Super Bowl and previewing the XFL.
Is the new logo going to be involved?
That would be a discussion between me and the team, and now I'm going to be up here. It's going to be a process, but we'll make it work.
Yeah,
I would say hold off on it for this week, just because you're doing the Super Bowl, which is kind of the end of the NFL.
Exactly.
Save it for week 1 of the XFL.
True.
That was the general thought process. I just, like I said, being up here without anything but my phone has kind of been okay. Well, now we got to regroup. Cool. So,
and then of course, the flagship show, Talk Wrestling or Anything with Jeff Meacham. Try to limit the or anything, or else Aaron Riff's going to be scratching his heads. But
scratching his heads, both of them, because
that's right. Him and Caitlin's scratching the heads.
Hey, you know what? Whatever you guys scratch, get to bed. It's all good. I'm fired. Fuck.
And then of course, the next time you will see the dads in person.
Yay!
The top 10 No Way Out matches of all time. A week from Monday.
Yes.
3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. With any luck, we will be able to come together this week, since Jeff is going to be in the area, and record that one together in person. We can discuss details when we get off the air.
Yes.
But so hopefully, much like the musicians we lost too soon, we will be able to can that one and the Wrestling Feuds top 10.
Yes.
That'll be our first one in March at the same time over the course of this week. So
Wednesday's
be
looking
on the
good,
lookout
brother.
for those.
Yep. Good stuff ahead, ahoy, kids.
That is everything as far as the plugs goes. So I turn it over to the simple man with the spectacular voice, the man who had his birthday yesterday.
Yay!
Once again, happy birthday, good sir. We hope that it was a good one. We hope that we were able to continue the celebration here this evening on the Multiverse of Media with the so-so NWA action and the shenanigans of open mic night. If you want some real comedy, Jeff, go back to the pre-show and watch James when we talked about Kevin Kiley.
Oh my God,
dude! What a good
say it to his face,
bro. Just look at his forward giggling right now, and that is all you need to see.
All right,
boy broke hard.
He was broken worse than Matt Hardy.
Bro,
but I digress. I the T-shirt.
First 4 times it was mentioned, I just kept laughing and wheezing.
Oh no!
Yeah.
God damn it!
Noah, take us home, good sir.
Again, as far as yesterday goes, it was simple and I was grateful. And tonight, again, it just continued being wholesome and worthwhile. Enough said. That being said, you want to know more about me, as I've been up since 8 a.m. yesterday. Know this, for I am just a simple man, still the voice of, but a lifelong fan also, a professional wrestling. Damn it! But I digress. Find me on the Twitter and YouTube at nfoster1916 for all things wrestling. Shout out, of course, the entire HW family on the Twitter. As James Heber alluded to, I will be part of the first ever stable awards across the FTW Productions for Wrestling Fortunes. Me or James and others will be covering the last week of AEW and AEW Spark. I also, of course, will be part of NoDQ's, I imagine they're official, whenever that's made, panel for the Mission Chamber as we continue predicting WWE's 2023. And Jeff has the graph for the Jeff Meacham games, and that will be shared probably at the end of first quarter. Also, of course, later on this week on my civil YouTube channel will be, of course, the next to the predicting, which will be Elimination Chamber with me and the Nebula of the NoDQ Galaxy, FTW constituents galore. 10 at a time, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. Then, like everyone said here, me and JJ will be back this Saturday to call Elimination Chamber for the first time ever across the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media together. And also the following week, as we started off before Rumble, I think it was a hot start. Why not continue the trend? It will be our next official Simple Take WWE style time and upload tentative as always. And that's just the stuff to come ahead this week. But there's still so much more to come because wrestling never stops too. But as always, let me conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters. Just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your families. Good luck to your teams, especially at the Super Bowl too. And just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. It's as simple as that.
There we go. 4, Mikey T, the movie star, who was on here earlier. 4, our normal team who wasn't able to appear tonight. Big Baller G, the Cleveland combatant Josh Mansfield, Scat Boy, and Dory Lou. For the man who came in late, didn't show his face, yet his name is on the marquee.
Accurate.
The West Coast professor, Jeff motherfucking Meacham.
That's right, bitches.
4, the He-Man James Hebert, and the Simple Man Noah Foster. I am the Renegade JJ Williams. Thank you for joining us today for our almost 8.5 hour coverage of NWA Enough Said and Open Mic Night. And until next week and the Elimination Chamber, we will see you guys then.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Get the fuck out of here.